Well, I guess it's time. It's time to start the show. Hi. How's it going? Good to see everybody. We got South Falcons in here. We got the Game Chasers. Probably just has it on in the background, which is fine. Cosma, of course, welcome. Good to see you. Stop Falk said, Pooperman, I mean, Stuperman, I mean, Superman. How many times do I have to tell you? It's Soup Herman. Soup Herman. But anyway, Billy says he's so excited he might twerk. Well, I mean, we've got some pickups today. I said, I don't think I'll buy anything on this Criterion round. Well, yeah, I did. And I got an extra pickup just mere hours ago. Like 2 hours ago. Got it off the porch. But anyway. And Pixel Phoenix, welcome. Good to see you. And the S means hope. It does, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, this is a special Wednesday edition of the Order 42 live show of regret and sorrow and doom and hope. But yeah, it's the stream. It's the normal stream, except it's on Wednesday. So take that. I do want to mention a couple of things. Unfortunately, they're not good. The first thing is of course the flooding in South Central Texas. Holy crap. I mean, I know that people have been reading about it, and I mean, gosh, Ricky was posting pictures from where he lives. I mean, it's kind of nuts. A lot of people are talking about that. And it's just one of those things where it's like, all we can do is maybe give some dollars to the Red Cross or something. I mean, I don't know. But I did want to acknowledge that because it's kind of nuts. In fact, in my pre-show video, the reason that I stopped is to show the flooding that happened where, I usually do my hikes. You usually can't see the water that close. And it was kind of nuts. So even here, even though we didn't get near the amount of flooding that they did, it was still pretty bad here. But also I did want to acknowledge the passing of a great. That Michael Manson we lost last week. I mean, look, there's this guy, he's one of those where I don't think he was ever like, like a major star. Like he was never, a leading man. But man, he just brought gravitas and a level of cool to anything that he was in. And I think most of the time, I mean, like most people will think of, his roles in Quentin Tarantino films, I mean, especially Reservoir Dogs. I mean, you cannot hear Stuck in the Middle with You and not think of Michael Madsen. At least, I mean, if you've seen that movie, I mean, wow, it made an impression. I think that his role in Kill Bill was amazing. In fact, what was weird is, I just put that one on the shelf. Or no, I'm about to put it on the shelf. I just watched it. I'm about to put it on the shelf next week. So it's one of those that I've recently got to watch his performance again. And the guy was kind of amazing, you know. But also, yeah, Shozama brought it up. Hello, Shozama, by the way. Julian McMahon from Nip Tuck, the I guess first Fantastic Four movie, right, in 2005, that we're about to get, a new version of the Fantastic Four in a couple of weeks. And by the way, I heard that they showed 30 minutes of the movie. Not like the first 30 minutes, but just 30 minutes of different parts of the movie to a crowd in Brazil, and people went nuts over it. That they loved it. So yeah, that's a thing. S means Wednesday edition of Order 42. My routine is ruined. LOL JK, usually my movie night. Well, Shozama, I mean, stay tuned, man. I got some things that you might be interested in. You know, a few pickups, some of the stuff I've watched. Kind of cool. Kind of cool stuff. And Bucho, hello, Bucho. Welcome. Good to see you. Michael Madsen was the Michael Rooker of movies. I mean, yeah. Yeah, Michael Rooker was never really that much of a leading man either. He never has been. But man, he brings a level of, I would say, quality to his roles. So yeah. The magnificent denizens of the 042 Chattertron 2000. Is that what it's called now? Is that what it's called? I mean, I like that. That's good. By the way, for those who are wondering, I'm still making my way through the liquids we've tried over the last month or so. It takes me longer to get through liquids nowadays, just because I don't vape as much. I'm still vaping. I mean, look, trust me, I'm still vaping. But it takes a while. But I do have a rather large order coming from Stevie's. So, hey, look forward to some liquid tastings in the near future. So, I know some people, they really like those. I like them. So, hey, it's coming back. It's coming back. But I waited for a sale, and it was a great sale. So, just saying. Also, for some younger people, Michael Madsen as the foster dad in Free Willy. I didn't even know he was in that. I know he was in Species. He's been in a lot of things, but never as a leading man, really. So, yeah. But let's see. What do I want to do? What do you want to do first? You want to do some what I've been watching? Let's do what I've been watching first. And then we'll go into what I picked up, and then we'll get into Superman talk. Because here's the thing. Hashtag no spoilers, right? No spoilers in the chat. If you've seen the movie, great. But let's not spoil it for people who haven't seen it. I'm not going to. And I expect you to follow those same rules. So if anybody wants to spoil things, you're gonna get a ban. You're just gonna get a ban, and it may be a 5-minute ban. It may be a week ban. I don't know. Whatever it takes. No spoilers. Okay. Because I had to mention this on the Discord. There are a lot of people who really want to spoil this movie for you. So if you're interested in seeing this movie, I would try my best to not go. I mean, it's tread lightly, because there are people out there that are willing to spoil this movie for you. And I'm really happy that I didn't for Superman. I didn't watch any of the clips that made it online. I saw that the first maybe 2 trailers, and that was it. So I was really surprised by a lot of the movie. So yeah, that's the rule. Hashtag no spoilers. But yeah, let's see. What else? What else we got? I got a message. I might as well bring this up too. I went to the doctor today. This is my my Crohn's doctor, my abdominal whatever mess doctor. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen him. He basically said, or he said, we are at a point now in your treatment where your Crohn's is basically in remission, which is great news. Great news. One of the things that's coming is that I'm going to have to change medication. So that's going to be interesting. Now, he said, I don't want to change your medication until after you get back from the Grand Canyon. Yeah, he remembered from the last time I went in there that, hey, well, I'm training to do the rim to rim on the Grand Canyon. And he's like, okay, well, he said, I want to switch medications. Apparently the medication that I'm on, I think it can do some long-term damage, and he wants to mitigate that. So anyway, but yeah, I did want to bring that up. I think it's pretty cool news. So yeah. Hold on a second. It was funny though. It was funny. I have to say it was funny. It was a little funny. But anyway, a little Michael Madsen trivia for you guys. His character from Species is actually the same character he plays in Free Willy. I'm not sure if that's true. I mean, look, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if that's true. Oh, not a lot of people know that Free Willy is part of the Species universe, but there you go. You know what? Hey, I'm just gonna let that go. I'm just gonna let that go, and hey, there you go. Now, look, the first movie that I watched this last week was. Now, I'll tell you this: all the movies that I have here, I didn't watch that many movies. You might go, really, Rob? You only watched 4 movies this week? What kind of you call yourself a movie fan and you only watched 4 movies? All of these releases are packed with special features. Packed. It was basically, it took days. Like a day to go through all the stuff, including commentaries. The first one, The Conversation. Now, you might know if you're into your physical media, Lionsgate Limited, and it was actually Studio Canal first. Studio Canal first, then Lionsgate. They did a very big special edition of The Conversation. You might remember seeing the reel-to-reel, the discs, the 2 discs, the 4K and the Blu-ray. Very cool, right? But man, that set was expensive. And I don't know. I like The Conversation. I don't know if I need to spend all the money on the big, bad, crazy special edition. So I got the standard edition, which is just the discs. But look at all the special features. Q&A with Walter Murch, the editor, and sound design, sound editing, all that stuff. A Francis Ford Coppola commentary. A Walter Murch commentary. Close up on The Conversation. Coppola dictates script. Dude, this release is freaking packed. It took a long time to go through all of it, but it was awesome. It was really, really fun. This is a really good movie, but it's one of those where, this came out between Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. And he basically, Coppola, said he'd been working on this script for a while, and he said, I really want to make The Conversation. And Paramount was like, how about you make Godfather 2? And he said, how about this? You let me make The Conversation, I'll make Godfather 2. And the rest is history. So in the same year, he was nominated for Academy Awards for both The Conversation and Godfather Part 2. Insane. I mean, if you think about Coppola's his trajectory in the 70s, it's nuts. You have Godfather 1, Conversation, Godfather Part 2, and Apocalypse Now, all nominated for Oscars. That's a hell of a run in less than 10 years. But anyway, the coolest thing about this is the commentary. I mean, of course, every Francis Ford Coppola commentary is worth listening to because he gives really, really like good information about the making of the movie. But the commentary that's awesome is Walter Murch, the editor. It was so interesting hearing how things, you know, how they had to tweak some of the stuff to make sense. And it's weird listening to the commentary and watching the movie at the same time. It really he pinpointed things that he did, and it was so awesome. So if you're into editing, I would highly recommend you track down this release, or at least a release of the conversation with the Walter Murch commentary, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and it was pretty dang cool. So the conversation, excellent movie, excellent release, highly recommended. This one is from Studio Canal. I did import this, and it was a lot cheaper than the standard special edition. The next movie is another Francis Ford Coppola movie. Might go down as the movie maybe he shouldn't have made. Megalopolis. Now, if you look at the back, that is all in Italian. So, yeah, the movie, there's 2 audio tracks. One is a 7.1 track, or I'm sorry, no, it's an Atmos track in Italian. So, couldn't listen to that. I had to listen to the English 5.1, and there are no subtitles in English. So, that's just the way it goes. And there's actually a part where they're speaking Italian in the movie, I think. Or maybe, is it Italian that they're speaking? I don't know what they're speaking. But there are no subtitles to help you. So it's kind of interesting. But this is one of those movies, man, where, you know, highly panned. A lot of people didn't like it. In fact, a lot of people hated it. After listening to Francis's commentary, I have a new appreciation for it. Now, do I love this movie? No. But I'm really glad that I own it. And it is going to be one that I do revisit because it's very unique. It's an artistic movie that not everybody's going to love. But there you go. Megalopolis. And what's cool about this, of course, this is the Steelbook. Let me see if I can get this open without messing anything. It is, some of the imagery in this movie is striking. It is absolutely striking. But yeah, you do get a 4K and a Blu-ray. But, you know, this release was basically all in Italian. So very interesting. And I've never had an Italian only release before. So there you go. And this is not available actually in the States. Like there is not a US release of Megalopolis and you can't find it on streaming because he's touring with this movie, which is interesting. But there you go. Let me get caught up and chat a little bit. Shozama said, Michael Madsen was leading man in Strength and Honor, but that movie got buried by Harvey Weinstein. It's only available on Blu-ray from Australia. He did win Best Actor in Boston Film Festival and New York International Independent Film and Video Festival. He played a boxer in Ireland versus Vinnie Jones. Interesting. I had no idea about that. Very interesting. I've never even heard of that movie. Strength and Honor. Bubs, what's going on, Bubs? Good to see, man. Good to see you. It's going well. Like I said, man. I've been kind of, dubbed Crohn's boy by the Game Chaser crew, but look, man. Doctor told me today that I'm basically in remission, which is very cool. And it might be that, my stress level is lower than, working for that company that I used to work for, or it could be all of the hiking. But either way, it's good to hear. And yeah, things are going well, man. And I got another 4K today. So how can it be bad? I did have to fight Dallas traffic though. I actually, on the way there, I was like, damn it, I should have taken my camera and filmed the traffic in Dallas at 1:00. It was nuts. Took me forever to get there. But anyway. Integrity 101. Hi, passing on Superman, but I'd love to hear your thoughts unless I missed it already. Glad to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Bubs. You know what? Since you asked, I will tell you. And stop, folks.
Congrats on the remission.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, he'd never said that before. And I've been going to this guy for years now. Basically since 2018. So to hear him say that is really good news. Really good news. I mean, he was looking at all my labs and he was going, everything's good. Everything's really good. So yeah, I'm super happy. But, and thank you, Integrity, and thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's been a long, I mean, I've been dealing with this since 2014. So, and I almost, died a few times. It's crazy, but we won't go into that, but thank you. Basically, here's the thing, Integrity. Superman is one of those movies that not everybody's going to like. But if you can allow yourself to get on the wavelength, you're going to really enjoy it. And here's the wavelength. And it's something that came to me while I was watching John Campea and Robert Meyer Burnett earlier. And they were kind of discussing the movie and what they thought of it. They both loved it. I wouldn't say that I loved it, but I liked it. I had a really good time. So I think it's a very entertaining film. But I came to the realization, a lot of people have been saying that this is a comic book movie, right? It's the most comic book movie yet. To be fair, you came up with Crone's Boy. We just adopted it. I mean, that's probably true. That is probably true. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I came up with that or if April came up with that. It's probably something like, oh, with old Crone's Boy over here. I don't know. But Superman. So, comic book movie. The most comic book movie ever. Have you ever bought a comic book? You ever gone into a comic shop and picked a comic book off of the rack, opened it up, and started to look through it? Because chances are that's not number one, right? That is not number one. That's number such and such, however, blah, 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 whatever number it is, 128 or whatever. In most cases, when you pick a comic book off of the shelf, when you're looking at it, there's a lot missing and you kind of have to fill in the blanks. And if you know the character, then you're good. But in some cases, you're kind of lost, because you're kind of in the middle of an arc. That's kind of what this feels like. Because the one thing that you could say about the original Superman movie, and I'm talking about 1978, Christopher Reeve, right? Richard Donner. I don't know where Dennis came from. Richard Donner's movie from 1978, Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman, right? Ned Beatty. I think most people can say that that's a pretty good movie. Okay. The thing that has in common with Man of Steel is that they both start in similar ways. They start with Krypton. And then you see Kal-El or Superman come to Earth, right? You see, it kind of eases you into the story. And you see, in both cases, you see a little bit of Kal-El as a younger person before he's Superman, right? A little bit. You don't get any of that here. This is it sets it up right at the beginning. 300 years ago, metahumans showed up on the planet. So we've had, as a society, we've had 300 years to get used to superhumans, superheroes. We know what it's like. They've been around for a long time. And what happens is you're basically getting right in the middle of a story in a way, which is really cool because if you've watched any of the other Superman movies, you've seen all of that before. You don't need to rehash it. So what's cool is you just get started with the story, and it's really cool. But one of the things that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in my review is that the Justice Gang, Nathan Fillion's character, Eddie Gathegi's character, and Isabella Merced's character, right? So it's Guy Gardner as, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl. Okay? Hawk Girl. Right? Hawk Girl. I didn't say anything about them other than I think everybody did a great job. They have a bigger role than you think they might have. And it's really fun to watch. And I think all of them do a terrific job. Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is the highlight, though. He is so good in the movie. I just enjoyed their performances. So I did want to mention that. I will say on the negative side, which is something that I didn't really think about until later, is that toward the beginning, I remember there being a couple of scenes where I felt like the camera movement was awkward. And maybe it's because the scene was awkward, but there was some awkwardness, not CG. There were some people that were saying, "Oh man, there's some of the CG is a little wonky." I'm like, I thought the CG was great. I didn't see anything that made me it stuck out as being like not good. I really enjoyed a lot of that. But like I said, the camera movements, there are a couple of scenes where it just felt awkward. Enough for me to go, "Oh, that's a little awkward," and then move on. I will also say that because of this change in tone, because especially if you're coming from Man of Steel, where it was really dark and gloomy and all that stuff, there's that change in tone where it's lighter. It's definitely lighter. It's not as dark, even though there are a couple of really dark moments in the movie. Overall, it's a pretty light thing, but it leans heavily into the idea that this is a comic book movie and we're going to use comic book kind of actions. The comedy feels very comic booky, in a good way, but it actually took me a little time to vibe with the movie. And once it was almost like my frequency was off. And once it started to line up, I really started to enjoy the movie. So I didn't really mention that in my review, and it's something I should have said, but I didn't think about it until today. But I think that the main thing is that more than anything, it not only feels like you're reading a comic book in the way that things play out, but it almost mimics the feeling of going into a comic book store, picking a random issue off the shelf and then starting to read it, which is kind of neat. We've never really seen a movie like that before, and it was really cool to see. So, but yeah, I do want to give, sorry, I'm looking at my notes over here. I do want to give credit to Robert Meyer Burnett because he is the one that made that connection of the initial Superman movie and Man of Steel having in common the idea that we're going to start at the beginning with Krypton and, him getting in the ship and sending them off. We don't see any of that. And it's really interesting that this movie doesn't do that. And I didn't actually consciously think of that until he brought it up, and it made me go, that's a good point, because a lot of movies don't do that. A lot of movies, they give you this full life thing. No, this is we're in the continuing adventures of Superman. Here's a story, and it's really cool. I liked it. This is one of these things that I think some people will like and some people won't. This movie moves at a breakneck speed. It moves really fast. In fact, it moves so fast that it's kind of like, I can't believe this movie's already over. It's edited really well. It's very tight. The problem with this is that there are actors and there are characters that I kind of wish we'd spent more time with. And it's just because, there's so many different characters that I feel like I definitely could have, I definitely would have enjoyed it if things were a little more, right? Just a little more. And I just, man, they're just, it was really very, very tight movie. I will also say that I kind of wish that we got a little more of Superman as Clark Kent. That is something that's a little on the lacking side. So if you're a fan of seeing him interact with us as Clark Kent, there's not a whole lot of that. Now, what there is of it, I really enjoyed, and it's to me it was really really smart in my opinion to start the movie off with the scene that's in the trailer. And I'm not going to go into detail, but if you've seen the movie, it's basically Lois Lane doing an interview with Superman. That was really smart because right off the bat, you're like, I know who this Superman is. And it's not that other Supermen, previous versions of Superman weren't like this, but man, it just really, it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. And I think the main three, David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult, they all did fantastic work. So good. In fact, I think I said it in my review, and I'll say it here. I think David Cornsweet is my favorite version of Superman I've ever seen. Now, I don't know if the movie is my favorite. I don't think so. I'd have to watch those again and then watch this one again and all that kind of stuff. It's going to take time for me to figure that out. It's going to take months, years, whatever. I don't know if I'm going to go see Superman again in the theater, but if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go see Superman?" I wouldn't say no. That's how it is. I don't know if I'd go see it like just by myself, or like if April said, "Hey, let's go see Superman again." I'd be like, "All right, let's go." I would be down. So it's one of those weird things where I don't know if the movie really is as good. But I'm telling you, oh, that's the wrong Superman. That's Soup Herman. I'm sorry. Stupid joke. Sorry. Yeah. I think David Cornsweet was amazing. He really, like, the only thing I've seen of him was in Twisters, where he plays kind of the bad guy in Twisters. I don't know what you call it, like I don't know, but he's so good, and this really leans into the big Boy Scout, the big blue Boy Scout kind of character that I really really enjoyed. So kudos to James Gunn. I mean, there is comedy in it, but to me it's not overdone. There was a couple of reviews that I saw that mentioned it was Jeremy Johns, actually, one of them, that he said that James Gunn doesn't allow scenes to breathe, and that some of the comedy, like, it's like there's this really like heartfelt kind of moment and then joke right after, and it's more, to me it's more about the editing and the way that I kind of have the feeling, and I thought this last night, and Campion and Burnett both brought it up today. They said they think that there's a longer version of this movie, that there's a version of it with each of some of the side characters and building the world out a little more. As it stands, it really is good. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie. In fact, the on the Rotten Tomatoes, the cinema score, or not cinema score, it's not cinema score, but it's their verified ratings. It's at 96%. So that means 96% of the people that saw that movie at least liked it, right? I mean, I'm sure there's ranges of how much people liked it, right? Oh my God, it's the best thing ever, to, no, it was good, But that's, a lot of people like this movie. I don't know. I just think he's really good. So if you're a fan of Superman, and I've always been a bigger Batman guy than Superman, I found myself really enjoying this. So, so yeah. And I'll say this too. There's a lot of people that have comic book movie fatigue. Totally get it. I totally understand. This movie it doesn't feel like those other movies where it's kind of like you're going through the motions. It doesn't feel like that at all. This movie feels fresh on so many different levels and takes so many risks with showing off like comic book tropes in a way that it just feels like such a different experience. And it was so much fun that I don't know if people would, I don't know. I would be really curious if those of you out there who have that comic book movie fatigue, if you were like, yeah, I watched this and I enjoyed it, or nope, this is just more of the same and it feels the same. I don't know. But I like I said, I think it was a really fun movie. And yeah, there you go. You should have done a raw. I'm get caught up in the chat there. We'll still talk Superman. Do you feel free to let's talk about it. I wanted to get those things out though, before we move on. You should have done a Rob Road recording like in the good old days. Well, Bucho, here's the thing. That is great and fine when I'm by myself. When I'm with April, she comes first, right? And that's just the way it is. So I'm not gonna worry about. I'm gonna talk with her about what she thought of it and all that kind of stuff, which I love adding into the reviews too, because you kind of get a second opinion. She was like, there's one thing that she said that she's like, I don't know if I'm up for more DC movies, but I'm up for more Superman, which she did not like Man of Steel. She did not like Batman vs. Superman. And she still hadn't even watched either version of Justice League because Batman vs. Superman pissed her off so much. She was like, why is it that they just tried to make us hate both of them? And I'm like, I don't hate both of them. You might, but I don't. She didn't like them. So she's not a DC person. But comics are worse than Crohn's. I don't know, man. I do enjoy going through comics, and I do have to be in the mood. But what I like is reading a whole run, right? I'll read a whole graphic novel collection of whatever arc this is, important arcs, and there's, dude, I have, because of that, and this is years ago now. What was it? Comixology, which is now a part of Amazon now. I don't even think they use Comixology as a name anymore at all. But when it was still Comixology, they were doing some pretty big sales on collections, the collections that I like. $2.99 for a whole thing. Where if you bought it, like if you went to a bookstore to buy that collection, it'd be like $30, $40. No, it was like $3. And so I bought a ton of them. And so I have stuff from Moon Knight. I have some from Star Wars. Almost, I'm pretty sure I have all of the Star Wars Legends comics in collected form like that. Still haven't read them. I still have, like I said, a bunch of Moon Knight, some Daredevil. There's some Swamp Thing. I bought The Authority, which is another, DC/Wildstorm, collection of heroes. I still haven't read that. And the reason that I got The Authority is because when I heard that James Gunn and Peter Safran were taking over as DC Studios, one of the things that James Gunn brought up was that The Authority was going to play a part in this new DC universe. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And when I saw that they had the sale on the collected, I'm like, yeah. But I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I still haven't read. So I love my comics. So respectfully, this comic booky take reminds me of Joel Schumacher interviews for Batman. This is definitely not the direction I'd go, but I appreciate your sharing your thoughts. Well, thank you. This is a good channel. Every time I'm here, I enjoy it. With unlimited content these days, it's just hard to keep up. Oh, dude. That's why it's so amazing to talk with people and see that somehow people are still watching my channel with all of the other things that you could be watching, that you decided to spend even 5 minutes in my stream is awesome. I so appreciate that. And so yeah, thank you for that. I do like the idea of skipping the origin and essentially jumping right into what feels like a sequel. Yeah, it's not really not really like what feels like a sequel. It's just like it's like the story's already in progress. You know? It's it's almost like coming into movie like 30 minutes in, you know? Because but again, that's not everybody likes that. Not everybody enjoys that idea. But it really feels like a comic book in that way. And it's one of the things that always used to intrigue me when I would go to a comic shop. I'd be scanning the shelves and I'd see a cover that looks especially cool. And I pick it up and it's like, oh, this is number 47 or whatever. And I open it up and I go, I have no idea what any of this shit means. Like, I don't know what it is. So you can either pick that up and go home and read it and all that kind of stuff. Or you can do what I always used to do. And that was look up where the origin is, get caught up in the origin, and then I could start picking up the series. But see, what I really like doing is it's one of the things that I really appreciated about what Marvel and DC were doing for a while, where they would kind of do like, here's like, we're going back to the origin and we're going to show you the origin of stuff in like a fresh new way. I don't know how many of the Ultimate X-Men. I mean, I really got into that. It's really cool. Hold on just a second. I'm going to close my door. The wife just came home and I don't want to bother her. But no, yeah, really, really cool stuff. But it is really neat to just, it's like switching channels and you're in the middle of a movie and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but this is intriguing, so I'm going to watch it. That's kind of what it's like. But I think if you just know your Superman, a little bit of your Superman history, knowing that he's from Krypton, knowing that he was a baby and that he's sent to Earth and the Kents, picked him up and all that. We know all this stuff already. So it's cool to just kind of jump in and it's fun. It's just it's fun. It's a fun time. So as Superman, he did great. Oh yeah. Like there is not one moment where I thought, it was just, he's Superman. Like I, and again, maybe, I don't know what it is, but I bought him immediately. That was one thing that I didn't have a problem connecting, was that that David Cornswell was Superman. Didn't have a problem with that at all. Vibing with the feel of the movie, the ideas in the movie, that took a little bit of time. And one of the things, I wouldn't say worried me, like some people, there are people out there that were like, I don't know about this crypto. I don't know about this dog. Why you got this dog in here? They use the dog in ways that are really fun. And I watching my review again last night, I kept going, why did I say fun so much? I said fun like 700 times. But it's just, the movie is just so much of a good time that it's hard not to say that word, because it's perfect. It's so much fun. And Crypto is great. Like, now, I mean, I'm not saying that I need a 3-hour epic on Crypto, but the way that he was used in the movie, I loved it. I just loved it. So, and the thing is I like I said, I know that there are going to be people that won't vibe with this movie. They can't, or some people that are just, I don't want to sound angry, but man, the fact that people were trying to torpedo this movie before it even came out, it's just like you're such a baby, just, man, can other people enjoy things? And the thing is, it's not like you weren't given the chance, right? It's not like Zack Snyder didn't get a chance. He had 3 movies to do And each one seemed to do less and they were less favorable as they went along. And then the whole DC universe by the end was like they weren't making any money. So Warner Brothers had to do what they needed to do. And look, I get it. You know, when somebody says, you know, oh, David Zaslav and all that stuff, I get it, man. There are things that he's done that I don't get and sound very like corporate, you know, crap. But in this case, it needed to happen. And I think James Gunn, he pulled it off. I know there's going to be people that don't, you know, they don't vibe with James Gunn, you know, his comedy and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But man, I really, really enjoyed this. So much so that I am really excited to see what's next. So there you go. Cavill was my favorite Superman. And and here's the thing. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people need to keep in mind. Cavill was great, is great. Like anything he's in, he's awesome. Like I just love Henry Cavill. And then on top of that, he's a geek like us. You know what I mean? He's so into Warhammer that it's ridiculous. You know, that thing where he's building a computer, you know, and of course, like if you're like me, you're sitting there going, oh man, that computer looks awesome. And then the women are going, oh my gosh, look at him. I get it. The dude is like all around, just like he's like James Bond, you know, in the way that every man wants to be him and every woman wants to be with him. You know what I mean? He's just like the perfect guy. So when you say, oh man, I can't believe that they would, you know, move on from Henry Cavill, but you also have to think you're talking about a universe, right? They had their shot. And it didn't, I mean, as much as I enjoyed some of it, it didn't work. It didn't connect with audiences. And I would hazard that most kids weren't even allowed to watch some of those movies because they were so violent and so dark, gloomy, you know, almost depressing. And this is light. Now, again, I will also say, if you're a parent, there are a couple of scenes you might want to look at the parent's guide or whatever I don't know. There are a couple of scenes that are like, oh, wow, that was a lot darker than I thought that was going to be. You know what I mean? So I would be careful if you're a parent. But other than that, man, it's such a fun time. It's so much fun. So I don't know. Looks more like Superman than Henry Cavill, though Henry Cavill was okay, but not the best. See, and I think that's where the problem was. I don't think Henry Cavill was allowed to do all the things that he should have done. Like, to me, immediately after Batman v Superman, there should have been another Superman movie. One that allowed him to stretch his wings a little bit. But Warner Brothers was in a hurry. You know, they had seen all of the success that Marvel was having. You know, I mean, if you look at the timeline, you can kind of see they were really pushing things. You know, Wonder Woman got her movie and then bam, here it is. Justice League. It's here. Well, let's do it. You know, and it's just like, okay, now we have Aquaman. We have all these people, right? It's what you want to do is take your time and build, you know, audience confidence in each character. They didn't do that. They just hurried everything. And on top of it, they made it really dark. I mean, you know what happened. And it's the thing is I can understand when somebody says, man, I really enjoyed those movies. I get it. I did too. I didn't love them all, but I definitely enjoyed them and wanted to see more. I've seen them all. Now, actually, I say that I haven't seen, I kind of gave up after Justice League. So I didn't see Black Adam. I didn't see Blue Beetle. Oh, I did see The Flash. And I saw the first Aquaman. But I didn't see the second one. I don't know. But basically what it comes down to is they had their shot and now, you know, Henry Cavill's 42 years old. You don't want to restart a franchise with a 42-year-old. You just don't. It doesn't make sense because it takes 3-4 years to make a movie. You can only make 1 or 2, 3 movies with him before he's 50. and then 55 and then whatever. So it just, I don't know. I get it. It sucks, but it's time. For a little context, may I ask for a quick summary of your thoughts on previous Superman films? Are you a Donner guy, Snyder guy, Superman Returns? Okay. Really quick, which that was, I don't know how long ago that was because I'm behind. I love the original Superman very much. I think the Donner Superman is great. I really enjoy Superman 2, and I'm talking about Richard Lester's version of Superman 2. The Donner cut is good, but there's something about that original, and maybe it's nostalgia, but I just enjoyed the original better. Just because it was so kind of campy and goofy in the right way. And then Superman 3 and 4, I remember seeing Superman 3 a few times when I was a kid, but I was like, this is, even as a kid, 8, 9 years old, I'm going, this is kind of crap. I don't like it. And I don't think I've ever seen more than probably 10 minutes of Superman 4. I completely lost interest. Really enjoyed Superman Returns. And it definitely had its merit, but it wasn't successful and it didn't go anywhere. You know, it didn't lead to anything, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And I thought Brandon Routh was amazing. As he was more of like, he was channeling Christopher Reeve. I don't think he was there long enough to really put his stamp on the character. And I think that's partially him being young, but partially the script as well. He was just kind of, it was supposed to be a continuation of Superman 2, right? So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite. And then of course, Man of Steel, I really enjoyed. It's the only one that I own on Blu-ray of the whole Snyderverse, I guess, the DCEU, whatever it's supposed to be. It's the only one that I own, and I have it in 3D. I love that movie. And partially there's something about that movie. It's so, I've said it before many times, too many times probably at this point. It's so gloomy, but man, it's awesome. It's so awesome. And part of that, I think, is not just you've got Russell Crowe as Kal-El, as Jor-El, and you've got freaking Michael Shannon as Zod. There's a lot of goofy crap in that movie, though. Like there's things in there that make me not love it, you know. But there's a lot of it that I really enjoy, especially Hans Zimmer's score. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Like I still, to this day, listen to parts of that score because it's so awesome. But, so yeah, I mean, I do enjoy, I did enjoy it. The whole Snyder thing. I never had fervor. Like when I heard, oh, there's a new cut of Justice League. Oh, cool. Okay. That was it. That's about it. I didn't do any of the, I couldn't take, even though like I was a fair fan, a little more than casual fan of the Snyderverse, I wouldn't say that I was part of that at all. So release the Snyder cut and all that stuff. I wasn't involved in that, and I would never take credit for it or try to, whatever. But yeah, this comes across as the most genuine positive review I've seen so far. I appreciate your take. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, here's the thing. I don't think it's great. It's good. And I think it's really like, it's just a fun time. And if you can allow yourself to vibe with the movie, I think it's going to make a ton of money. Like going in, I was afraid that just because I do like James Gunn and I'm kind of rooting for the new DC simply in spite of all the buttholes out there that keep trying to torpedo things. I hate that kind of fandom. It's not fandom at all. It's look at me and look at what I'm saying. And instead of actually having an opinion on something, I'm just going to attack you personally because you don't like something, or, oh my gosh, I'm going to torpedo Godzilla versus Kong because how dare you release the movie at the same time that the Snyder cut comes on HBO Max? Get out of here with that crap. I don't like that kind of fandom. And I don't like being negative for the, the just to be negative. If I'm going to be negative in something, I'm going to be critical, but I'm not going to be negative. And I think that's important. I think it's a distinction that a lot of people just don't have. They don't have the potential to see anything but binary, right? So many people out there are either it's the greatest thing ever, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. And I'm sorry, but the world is not like that. There are people that you go, yeah, I like this person. I think this person's great. I don't want to hang out with them. But yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They don't bother me at all. I don't want to hang out with them though. There are plenty of people that you come across every day that are like that. Why can't movies be like that? Why can't art be like that? Art is like that. You ever looked at a painting and you go, wow, that's really cool. I mean, I wouldn't hang it in my house, but that's really cool. That's really well done. To me, that's Superman. I mean, it's not quite. Because I guarantee you I'm buying this movie in 4K. I'm buying this movie. There's no question. But it's just I don't love it. I'm not gonna watch it like Inception. When that movie came out, when it came out on Blu-ray, I watched it multiple times. What is that? Whoa, what is this? Oh wow. I just got a public safety alert. Uh Wanted for involvement in the serious injury of a law enforcement officer. I've never seen that before. I've seen like the Amber Alerts and stuff like that, but I've never seen one like that before. Interesting. It's in a city way, way south of me. Billy, if you got that message, it's in Alvarado. So, wow. That's, wow. Um, I missed the bit where April was in the car too. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I, there's such a thing as, like, I used to do these things, and some of you know this, some of you don't. I used to do this thing all the time where if I was driving somewhere that was longer than, say, 30 minutes, I'd throw on the audio recorder on my phone and I would just record what I'm thinking about when I'm whatever. And I would just do things and I'd put it on the old message boards that are now gone. But yeah, I used to put that stuff out all the time. And I'd do them a lot. But it takes energy to do that. And there are some times when, especially when I'm doing a movie thing, I don't want to immediately, here's what I think about stuff. Usually I like to at least have a little bit of a buffer so that I can kind of collect my thoughts and really break down the movie, almost play through the movie again, and then sit down and do a review. But there's almost every time I do a review, I'm hitting, publish on this thing. And I go, damn it, I should have said that. Well, it's too late now. You know what I mean? It's like it happens all the time. There's always something that I forget to talk about. And that's why I wanted to talk about Superman a little bit more, because I think, frankly, it deserves it. And I think if you're a fan of like a casual fan of, yeah, I like a good comic book movie, give this one a shot. It's fun. If you're a Superman fan, it's a must. There's so much cool stuff in it. I will say there are a couple of moments, non-spoiler, there are a couple of moments that make you go, like, genuinely like, what? Like, I've never heard that. And it's kind of neat. Now, there are some people that will hear that and go, nope, that's just like, okay, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Spoilers coming up for The Dark Knight Rises if you haven't seen that film. But it's getting up there in age. So there is a scene where in The Dark Knight Rises where Bruce and Alfred are having a conversation, and Alfred basically is telling him, you need to quit. This is ridiculous. Your body can't take it. Your parents put me, I'm basically here to help you and to protect you, and this is wrong. And Batman's like, or Bruce Wayne's like, sorry, but I'm doing the thing and I don't care what you say. And Alfred said, well, okay, well then I quit. At that moment, I'm sitting there in the theater and to me, it's the disconnect point. It's the point where I went, okay, this movie just went off the rails for me. Because not that I'm like this huge Alfred fan, but Alfred is a constant. In every Batman story ever written, Alfred is a friggin' constant. And the idea that Alfred would quit just blew my mind. And was like, no, Alfred wouldn't quit. Alfred would never quit. And it irritated me so bad that I couldn't enjoy the rest of the movie. It felt like it's probably the same sort of idea, the same sort of feeling that a lot of people felt when they saw Luke throw the lightsaber over his shoulder. They were like, that's not my Luke. That's not true. That's not the way it is. But then a few days passed, thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? This movie isn't really like trying to tell it's basically Christopher Nolan's version of the Batman story if the Batman was a real character, a real person. Let me give the movie another shot. And I went in there knowing that it was coming and going, okay, in this version of this story, Alfred takes off. It's almost like you look at those three movies as a single graphic novel, a take on Batman. And when I looked at it that way, I enjoyed the hell out of The Dark Knight Rises. And it completely, 180, it made me love the movie. And it made me appreciate the movie on a level that I couldn't enjoy the first time because I couldn't get out of my own head. There is a moment like that that has the potential to do something similar if you're a huge Superman fan. I'll just say that. I thought it was really cool. So, anyway, I want more Constantine. So yeah, so do I. I didn't really know a whole lot about Constantine until I started reading, which you can't really see it. It's the Sandman. I have the absolute Sandmans over here. And look, I know Neil Gaiman, I get it. But I bought those way before all that, and I love the Sandman, and the Constantine stories in there are awesome. And it made me want to read a bunch of Constantine. So a bunch of Hellblazer, all that stuff. I kind of still want to get those because I'm really digging that character. When you read this, you just close the door. Oh my gosh. That was a long time ago. That was a long time. By the way, everybody that's here, hi. I'm sorry I haven't said hi to you, but I'm behind. Wow, that was a long time ago. Ninjinzu, what's going on? Fun. Yes. Superman was fun. And hello, Carbonite. Yes, I liked it. I didn't. That's a thing. And it's very important. I liked it. Didn't love it, but I did like it. And I think it's worth seeing if you're allowed to get into that mode, which it's a thing. It was definitely a good vibe it's putting out. Yes, for sure. I never followed the box office trend for the Snyder movies. Did they really trend downward so badly? Well, they were never really successful. You know, the one that was, I mean, of course, Wonder Woman and Aquaman were the number one movies in all of, in fact, I wonder if they probably have box office DCEU. There you go. So, and this is here, right? This is not worldwide because Wonder Woman and Aquaman were both the number one global box office. But look at, I mean, the fact that Man of Steel comes out the gate and it only makes 291 million. I mean, look at Black Adam, Shazam. Oh, I forgot about Shazam. The Flash is way down here, 108. Birds of Prey, 84. Blue Beetle, Shazam, Fury. Look at how you can't. Okay, don't look at those last four. Or let's see, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 84. And even that one, you really can't. This movie was terrible, by the way. If you didn't see Wonder Woman 1984, holy crap, that movie is terrible. It's really bad. But this was right in the middle of the pandemic, and they released that day and date on HBO Max. But still, it only made 40, not even 47 million. Suicide Squad is another one that was day and date, 55 million. Shazam! Fury of the Gods wasn't. Blue Beetle wasn't. Birds of Prey wasn't. Well, I guess no. Birds of Prey. Look, here's Birds of Prey. And then The Flash, Aquaman. I mean, it's just, these are not good numbers. Like, these are probably fine. But anything below here, it's like, ooh, that's rough. And to think that they're saying that this Superman movie is going to start opening weekend with 200 million. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'd push back pretty hard on the Zach getting a chance thing, but we don't need to go there. I have no desire to derail the show. I've ripped the trailers plenty, but I like to hear all sides. Well, and see, here's the thing. That is absolutely the best way to do it. It's to have a conversation. It's to not just, especially when you, I mean, there are people out there, and I'm sure you've seen them, that they, if I like the movie or something, they're like, how much were you paid to say that? So you're telling me, you're basically saying that I have no integrity. Not to, take your name there. But when you say something like that, you're basically saying that I'm being dishonest in what I'm saying. That's not a good thing. It's not a good look. And that's insulting to me. And you should go, go jump in a lake. But anyway. Getting my cheeks kicked in League of Legends match. Oh. Is it Speed Racer fun? That's actually an interesting comparison, because Speed Racer is definitely one of those movies that it is very kind of comic booky in a way. But here's the thing, like, again, both my wife and I both said, yeah, well, we'd watch it again. Speed Racer is not the kind of movie that she wants to watch again. Like, she saw it, she's good. I can watch that. Seriously, if I walked in there and she's 10 minutes into watching Speed Racer, I'm going to sit down and watch the whole thing. I won't be able to get up because I love that movie. I don't know if this one has that same thing, but Man of Steel should have had a standalone sequel. Maybe have Brainiac as the villain. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, I mean, there are so many ways that they could have gone, but it was almost like they were trying to be too... The thing that Christopher Nolan did well in his 3 Batman movies is that he grounded Batman. And I mean, even though there were some things that were a little like, okay, sure, there was still, for the most part, it was pretty grounded, right? They tried to ground it a little too much with Snyder tried to ground it a little too much, but then at the same time, he's still bringing this fantastical stuff. But it just never struck the right tone to me. And especially when you watch the movies again, like, after years have passed, outside of the hype, outside of all that stuff, and you're just watching the film for what it is, there are things that just don't seem to really connect. At least for me. But I still would have loved to have seen Henry Cavill. Like, I really thought Henry Cavill was like, wow. Superman Returns was awesome. Yeah, there were a lot of things I liked about that movie, but that one also had a weird tonal issue. Maybe that was Kevin Spacey. I don't know. It's honestly been years since I've seen it. The last time I watched Superman Returns was on DVD. if that gives you any indication of how long it's been since I've watched it. So there you go. I got Man of Steel in DC 7 film collection 4K set. Has Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam. Yeah, so I own Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League, and Aquaman, I think. And maybe Shazam. I think, actually, you know what? My wife she really liked that first Shazam movie. And I thought it was fine, but it didn't, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't even see the second one. Did you ever watch Sakura? I thought it was really fun. I don't even know what that is. Review bombing or attacking other creators isn't fandom, it's cultdom. Oh, yes, for sure. And hi, Carbonite, did I say hi to you? Hi. Hello. Good to see you. I don't know if I said hi to you. There's a great Superman Returns fan edit that moved the plane rescue to the finale. Pretty cool. I think I've actually heard of that, but I haven't seen it. I mean, that's one of those where, in order to watch a fan edit, I need the regular movie to be in my head, and I don't have. It's been too long. I'd have to watch the original again. But very interesting though. Spoilers. There's no spoilers here. No spoilers here. Weird. I don't even remember that part. Oh, you're talking about Dark Knight Rises? Is that what you're talking about? Not sure. I probably said this here before, but I'd love to see you do some open panels sometime. Food for thought. Integrity. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because here's the thing. You get me talking, I can talk, I can talk for a while. But I don't know what you mean. Like, everybody's got their own style and their own, way of doing things, right? One of the things that I love about Robert Meyer Burnett is what he'll do is he'll just say, hey, I'm going to read you this article and then I'm going to talk about it. And this article is really interesting. Apparently it's raining here. Oh, get out of here, man. Yeah. Okay. Do I need to be concerned? I just heard thunder. So I just want to make sure because, I don't want to lose the stream. Oh, it's okay. It's a little bitty cell. Interesting. Okay. Never mind. It'll be over in 4 minutes or so. But yeah, the open panels thing. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But like I said, Burnett, what I love about him is he'll say, I want to talk about this. And then he'll do, sometimes it'll be 30 minutes, sometimes it'll be 45, sometimes it'll be over an hour of him discussing this one thing. And it's really thought-provoking and interesting. And then he'll go through all of his super chats at the end. Which is great if you have a large, audience. I don't. I treat every single one of these things. I don't know if you heard that. That was pretty loud. I treat every one of your posts here in the chat as a super chat, because I feel like you deserve it. You're sitting here chilling with me. I feel like you deserve to at least be heard and responded to, But yeah, and then of course Campia does, he does topics and then he'll do his, kind of Q&A thing at the end. And of course those are all super chats. I don't have enough super chats for that to make any sense. And I don't structure my show that. Now, if I had, okay, like right now, we have 11 people here. That's great. I can keep up with 11 of you. But if I had 1,100 of you, there's no way I could keep up. And the only way that I would be able to respond is with like super chats. So then, yeah, of course, I would have to do it that way. But my show doesn't really work that way. So I'm curious. Be cool if you opened it up for us to join. Some channels put a link, usually StreamYard, in the chat for users to join. I join random channels regularly to discuss whatever. Ah, okay. So it'd be cool to jump on live and have an adult conversation about our disagreements. I do it all the time. Okay, that's actually really interesting. I mean, now, in a way, that's kind of what our Discord hangouts are at the end. So hey, you want to join our Discord hangouts? Feel free. But no, I don't typically do it like that live because I don't want anybody to feel pressure to come on here if they don't want to, but you obviously do. So it's definitely something to think about. I mean, I'm not really set up for it right now, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I like it. 803 and Rufus the Red, welcome. Yeah, here. Please, Nightbot, please. Can you give the link? Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for that. There's a second Shazam? Yeah. Yeah. Donnie Yen directed Sakura. He said he basically wanted to make his own version of a Marvel type movie, directed, produced, and starred in. Was raining here again earlier. Man, you guys need to knock it off with all the rain, okay? Everybody needs to knock it off with the rain. But Sakura, yes, I actually did watch that, and I didn't care for it. Now that you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that because I got excited about it because it's Donnie Yen. And yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't really remember exactly, all the things. But I just remember I didn't care for it. So used to watch Adventures of Lois and Clark, not Lewis and Clark. I get that. Dean Cain was a pretty good Superman, but haven't watched the show since it aired. Yeah, and that's I tried to watch it most of the time. Like, something happened to me when I first saw the original Star Trek series. I know that's going back, right? But I saw the really shoddy effects, and I'm like, I can't deal with most TV. So most TV I'd never really got into. Now, of course, there were exceptions to that rule. But for the most part, I wasn't a big TV guy. You know what I mean? So I never watched any of the. Okay, there was I'm trying to remember what channel it was on. But it was The Flash, but it was back in like the 90s. And I really liked that. But then it went off the air. But that's the only one that I really watched. I never really watched a lot of superhero stuff on TV. It's like if they didn't have the budget to wow me, then I wasn't interested. And it's a thing that I'm kind of irritated at myself that I missed out on so much stuff. Like, to me, Star Trek, the original series, man, if I could have gotten over the effects and just taken the story, because the stories are great. I mean, sure, some are better than others, but I really enjoyed going through that original series. So, yeah, I never watched Lois and Clark. Have a great night. Oh, I already read that. I saw the stream in my notifications, but I was early, got caught up watching this Rob Schneider daddy-daughter trip flick. I'm not sure which one that is. Thanks for the good conversation and good luck with your health. Take care. Integrity. Thank you. And yeah, the health is good. The health is good. I mean, again, anytime you have a doctor's appointment, you're kind of like, but I'm okay. I'm good. So thank you. Do you think the Flash flashes people with how quick he is? It's possible. Sure. That mosquito bite you thought you felt was the Flash slapping you with his... What? What is tegrity? Oh, tegrity. Got that tegrity. Yeah, I got that tegrity. Greetings, Christian VS. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Tegrity Farms. But hey, why don't we, since we kind of went through Superman, there's one last thing that I want to say about Superman. And it's not really about Superman, kind of. But it's more of a general thing, okay? This is almost, in a way, this could be taken as a little bit of an idea, not the idea itself, but the idea of presenting something to you uh in this way is very much like Robert Meyer Burnett would. So here's the thing. When you're making a movie, when you're telling a story, whether it's a book, like I said, a movie, TV show, whatever, a good writer or a director can put in story elements that can be interpreted in different ways. For example, this is going to be going back the furthest, but to me, it's a good example. Brokeback Mountain. Now I know you go, oh yeah, the Cowboys. I get it, right? I'm straight. I'm not gay. But because of the way that story is told, it still works on an emotional level. Even if you can't directly relate to them, you get things out of the story that are applicable to everyone. The way that they did that movie is that it's basically the story of two people who can't be together. They love each other, but they can't be together. That's a universal type story. And it was really, really smart the way that they told that story. But again, they told us very specific story in a way that could be interpreted and ingested, taken in by anybody, which is really cool. Lord of the Rings is another example. I've seen many people that take Frodo and Sam's relationship much further than simple friendship. That there's a romantic relationship between Sam and Frodo. I don't read that at all. And I can almost guarantee you that is not what Tolkien intended. But it can be interpreted that way. It can be interpreted by many different people in different ways. I'm sure that there are definitely stories through history that could be interpreted in ways that are not meant by the original author. That's what good writing does, because that's how it allows you to connect with the story. Like when I watch Superman, I can't identify with Superman. I am not super at all. I'm barely a man. But I can still relate to parts of his story, right? He is very relatable in certain ways. Another great example is Andor. Okay? Very recently, there's a speech that Mon Mothma gives that people go, oh my gosh, she's talking about so-and-so. She's talking about this. And yet, Andor was written years ago. So there's no way that they could be directly speaking about this person. But because we relate to it, we bring our own interpretations of what this material is. Superman is doing the exact same thing today. There have been people that have made statements, oh my gosh, Superman is about this. No, it's because there are ideas that people seem to repeat. History tends to repeat itself. Countries decide to invade other countries all the time. Like it's happened so many times over the years. So the idea that this is a specific example of this situation that might be going on in the world today, no, that's not what it is. Now, those people aren't wrong for saying that, or for taking that kind of the lesson that the movie, the book, the whatever, the art might be telling us. Just because you interpret it that way doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong. Where people go wrong is when someone, a YouTuber, a blogger, whoever, somebody on Twitter or X or whatever you want to say, that they say, this is what this movie is about. They take their interpretation and try to make other people see it the exact same way. Now, there's one thing to say, hey, it's very interesting. When I watched this movie, this is what I thought, even though I know that that's not what it meant. But this is what I thought, and it was very similar, right? No, it's when people try to tell you that this is what it is, and in essence, some of those people are trying to torpedo the movie by making you think of some such and such political, hot topic that's going on right now. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Because that's not what it's about. Superman was written, what, mid 2023? It could have nothing to do with some of the things that are going on right now in the world. Now, the idea that you're sitting there and going and trying to, this equals this, it's because art does that. Good art can do that. It elicits a response from you. And there's ways that things that Superman goes through in his life, right? As a fictional character, even though it's not true, there are things that happen that you can relate to. Makes you like a certain character, makes you like a certain movie because it demonstrates something that you think is important, whatever. Again, all I want to do is basically warn you that we all do this. This is part of taking art in. We take that and we identify with it, and then sometimes we become passionate about it. We want to talk about it. Fine. But do it in a way that's not, number one, belittling anyone else for their other opinion of it. And two, it's a subjective thing. That's why art in general is beautiful. It's because we can all bring ourselves into the art. And then it becomes this almost chemical reaction that is so cool. And it's one of the things that I love about movies. I've connected with all kinds of art in a lot of different ways. Music, movies, video games, books, all of those things. But movies they've always been my favorite way for that thing to happen. That weird chemical reaction that just puts me over the edge and just goes, yeah, it's awesome. But again, that's what's scary about, like, for example, Prometheus. A lot of people don't like Prometheus. In fact, they say, oh my God, it's the worst alien movie, whatever, blah, 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 right? That movie is freaking, I love that movie because there's certain things in that movie that really connect with me. The Last Jedi was another one. A lot of people didn't like it for a number of reasons, but I really connected with it. And it's because I saw Luke going through some of the same things that I was going through in a different way. And it was awesome. This feeling of not, like I'm some, legend or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. But the idea of someone who never really lived up to the legend or the thing that everybody said he was, or, you know what I mean? There's so many ways that I connected to it, and not in that specific way, but it was basically like someone that could come around on themselves and realize that they have more to offer. I don't know. I just loved it. I loved the way The Last Jedi worked, and I really reacted to that. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is that, hey, that's what's beautiful about art, is we all connect to it in different ways. But don't belittle somebody because somebody connects to it in a different way than you do, is all I'm trying to say. So there you go. There you go. No, it didn't, Rufus. You're what? You're second to last. It didn't make you that. I got to drive the tractor, got to cut the grass. Chut, chut goes the... What is... Bud in the barn, there's life. I don't know what you're talking about. People see what they want to see. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's true. That's art for you, right? Superman is one of those movies that they bring... In fact, the thing that's kind of annoying is the the anti-woke DEI movement. And it's not that I don't disagree that, you know, saying a certain thing or hiring a specific person that doesn't, that doesn't need to be there or doesn't, you know what I mean? Bad uses of that. Yeah. I don't think anybody really likes that. The problem are the people that constantly attribute whatever they don't specifically like as this thing. I hate that. It's so annoying to me. It's like a lot of times when I see that, I disconnect and I don't care anymore and I move past it. I won't listen to what they say because I don't think they have a smart thing to say about it. Now, when someone says something like that about the Superman movie, I'm like, the only thing that you could, I mean, the only thing that you could say is that, oh wow, Superman cares about everybody, not just Americans. And he thinks all life is precious. How's that a bad thing again? I mean, seriously, how's that a bad thing? I'm just asking. And that's what I don't like. Is because they say the thing to get the clicks and the responses, but again, if you live your life like that, I wonder how much, like, are you happy? Like, are these people happy? Those people that farm, negativity, that's what they do. They farm negativity. And that's not something that I feel comfortable doing ever. Because, I have honesty and integrity. And I just don't think that that is a valid way to put anything out in the world. I think the world is, if I had my way, we'd have more people talking with, integrity and honesty and all those things instead of just farming hate. And I don't like that. And I feel like that's what a lot of, especially surrounding specific properties, including Disney. I mean, look, Disney's not the best company in the world, but there are definite ways that they're trying to do the right thing in some cases. Not all cases. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be positive about it and not just immediately, throw out the baby with the bathwater type thing. But anyway. After American Beauty, I started collecting plastic bags and working out in my garage. Rufus, I think you're taking the wrong message from that movie. But hey, whatever. Some say that once you put your art out there, you can't control what it means anymore. It's owned by the audience. Death of the author or whatever. Well, that's true. But again, since art is subjective, it's putting your own subjective spin on something and then treating it as if it's objective. That's where I have a problem. Is that's not the way art works. So, but yeah, I mean, it is definitely open to interpretation, which is, again, that, like I said, it's like a chemical reaction. It's like when you mix mayonnaise and honey sriracha on a turkey sandwich. It's freaking awesome. I love it. It makes a flavor that didn't exist before. Barbecue and mayonnaise. Barbecue and mustard. All those things. Man, that's what I say. Man, mix your condiments. Pot upon one. I don't know what that means, stop, folks. 1 = 2. 1 + 2. Pot upon 1 + 2 replay. I don't know what those are a lot of words. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Terrence Howard style math. I don't know. So Superman isn't about a chode that wears his underwear over his pants, getting all the deals faster than a speeding bullet. Not that I know of, Bubs. Some people see guys hunting games. I just see farts. I mean, that's true too. In fact, I don't understand why there isn't, like, Billy, release the fart cut. Release the Oops All Farts edition of a Game Chasers episode. Where's that at? Just saying. I think that would get at least 50 views, which would be, I don't know. Spencer, what's going on? Hey, Robin Company, looking forward to watching Superman. Release that. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't know if I'm. And belongs behind bars where he belongs. I mean, look, Spencer, I would agree with all that. I would agree with all of that. Derek, welcome. All life is precious. Superman is a stupid hippie. Nuke the whales and ban Priuses. I mean, yeah. I mean, what? I don't know. What? Okay, wait. What was I doing? Oh, I was going to do this. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plug in my mouse because my keyboard was almost dead earlier and I need to charge my mouse too. And now that I'm caught up, it'll just inch up. By the sound of it, sounds like I'm going to love this movie. Christian, I hope you do. In fact, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm in a part of my life where when I see a trailer and I go, oh man, that looks good, I want to see that. I want it to be great. I want it to be everything that I have in my head, at all the hopes. I want those hopes to be realized. I love that. You can treat nonfiction as an art, and that is highly objective. Well, Derek, depends on who's writing said nonfiction. Because even nonfiction can be opinion. And opinions can be twisted. History, I mean, how many times have you heard history is written by the winners? That's twisting history. That's twisting the truth. That's twisting the objective truth. So, I mean, Rob, do you keep your criterion separate from your other discs or mix them together? I mix everything simply because the way that I look at it, and that goes with any of the, like, stuff like this. Like, I only have a couple of studio canals, but like that could include steel books, that include anything that's like a special edition. It's too much work. I'd rather just have it all in alphabetical order, and that way I go, there it is. Where are the M's? There's Megalopolis. Let's get that out and watch it 12 times in a row. Yeah, I don't separate them. I think it would definitely be cool. Like if I had a huge freaking collection, yeah. But I don't know. I don't think I have enough criterions to, like, I could probably fill up 2 shelves, but that would be annoying to try to figure out where, I don't know. I like visually, that's very cool, but I'd rather have it in alphabetical order to make it easier to find. Patapon 1, 2, and 3 are great games, and they're getting remaster releases. Well, there you go. Okay. I didn't know that. So there you go. I do it. Okay, so Billy says I do it, but I need someone to go through the episodes and timestamp all the farts. If someone does it, I'll do it for real. I don't have that kind of time. So, hey, if somebody wants to do that, you can have an Oops All Farts Game Chasers episode. I mean, that'd be good. Could be good. It looks like Integrity just joined the server. Cool. That Prius engine, when reversing the cams, makes a badass track racing engine. Rob sounds like he's up for it since he isn't Crohn's boy anymore. I mean, look, I don't really have that kind of time either. So, I'm just saying. It can be twisted, but can also be carried out correctly, and creativity leads to innovation or new findings. I mean, look, all of those things are true, but the thing is that history can be, like anything that you read in a history book, it's written by a dude. And dudes are fallible. Dudes have bias, and that bias can create, gaps. It can create fallacies. There are so many different ways that history can be twisted, right? I don't know. Fart Finder 3.0. See, Ninjinzu seems to have some sort of plug-in that can just find all the farts. So there you go. I might actually do this. Might take me a few months as I go through it. I have no time at all, but I can do an episode or two a week. I mean, how amazing would that be? That we would all have an oops, all farts. I mean, history is 100% fact conspiracy theory, boy. No, I'm saying look at who the history is written by. It could be twisted. I guarantee you. There are, in fact, I don't have any of my my old college books in here, which there are just a few because I didn't finish college. But I can guarantee you there are errors in there. There are errors in their thinking, in their conclusions. Scientists make mistakes all the time and have to have their whole research paper, retracted from the world. Unfortunately, some people release those things. People start thinking a certain way based on that knowledge. And then when the retraction does come, everybody's already made up their mind. So it's kind of like, I call it the mental shortcut. Okay. So if I say, do you, let's think of something. Do you like Felix the cat? I can immediately tell you, no, I don't like Felix the cat. But that's based on my memory of what the thing is, not the actual thing itself. So I could rewatch Felix the cat and get a whole new appreciation for it. But I've made the mental shortcut that I don't like it. So that's the problem with history. It's the problem with really the way that our brains work. Our brains work off of shortcuts. I mean, I'm not asking, this is a rhetorical question. If I ask you if you're a Republican or Democrat, most people, they can give you that answer right away, right? And that's not based off of all of the different things going down the list of, this is what makes a Republican, hence I am a Republican, right? You're not thinking about all those different things. You're only thinking I'm a Republican. Or the other way around. Or if you're a Democrat, you go, oh, well, here's all the things that make up a Democrat. You're not thinking about all those things. You're just thinking about the end goal. Democrat. I'm a Democrat. And then people cement that in their brain. And then that's the way the world is now for them. When anybody comes up with this Republican or Democrat, they're immediately Democrat, or Republican, whatever, right? The problem is there's fallacy in that kind of thinking. When you do mental shortcuts like that, which we all do, every single one of us, do you like Burger King? Yeah, no, I don't. I hate it. Why? You're not remembering exactly why, but you might remember, you might take a second and think about the 2 or 3 times in a row that you had a really bad experience at Burger King. So you have all of these reasons why. But then you go, but wait a minute. Burger King changed, they changed owners. The one that I had a really bad experience with closed down. You could go to Burger King and it could be the best thing ever. But you've already made up your mind. That mental shortcut is cemented in there, and it takes something drastic to change you, to get you out of that way of thinking. Now, expand that to everything. That's what's crazy, is that we've made mental shortcuts on so many facets of our lives, not even realizing why we made the decision in the first place. We just know that's what I think. But sometimes all of the logic that took you to that point that made you say yes or no, I'm this or I'm that or whatever, it may be based off of thinking that's illogical and out of date. That could be completely wrong. That's what's interesting. So that's what I'm saying, man. History is it's an interesting subject because it can change based off of new data. So that's why I say it's not 100%. It's almost, unless you were there, and even then, you can gloss over details that might change the outcome. There's a lot of things where it's an interesting thing, and it's a slippery slope, you know? And I'm not saying that nobody should trust anybody and nobody should trust any of their thoughts, but I'm just saying a lot of our thought processes are based off of faulty information. How many times do you read an article? Like, well, most people don't even read articles. You read a headline and then suddenly that it's in your head. That's in your head and you can't control it. It's in there. So now when somebody says something about it, you're like, oh, I think I read something about that. Oh, isn't vaping like, doesn't it give you popcorn lung? Huh. Based off of faulty information. Just saying, it happens all the time. And I catch myself from time to time going, I think this way and it's wrong. And that's the beauty about being, taking a skeptical scientific approach to life and to all things, because it gives you the ability to not only, be wary of what you're taking in as far as information goes, but it allows you to be wrong. That being wrong isn't a bad thing. You're taking in new data. You're learning something. That's a good thing. And I think if more people took that approach, we might have a better world. But that takes education and that takes effort. And a lot of people don't take that. They read the headline without reading the rest of the article that completely disproves what the headline was about. The headline was there just to get you to click on it or to get you to whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm ranting, so I need to stop. Farts for Christmas. 12 days of shitsmas. I can tell you are a big fan of Keith Sweat Twisted. Great song. Derek, I'm not even sure what that means. And I don't know who Keith Sweat is. Here, I'm gonna have to unplug my mouse for a second so I can plug in. That sounds like such an old person kind of way. I need to plug that into Google and see what that means. Plug in. You mean type words into Google so it'll... Anyway. Keith Sweat. Twisted. Lyrics. Oh yeah, baby. You gotta make your mind up. Yeah, cut close. Help me out. You know you're my lover. You know you want my lovin', baby. Is this completely the opposite of the way Keith Sweat sings this? You got me twisted over you. Girl, you got me twisted over you. I know I got what you need. I got what you need right here, baby. So what you want to do? I don't know if I know this song. 1996. I don't know what that song is. But hey, there you go. Okay. I've ranted enough. We talked about Superman. Here's the other things, very briefly, that I watched this week. I don't know if it's going to be brief because I'm not brief about anything. A Bridge Too Far from Imprint. Look at that cast. Dirk Bogarde, James Caan, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, Edward Fox, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins, Hardy Kruger, Laurence Olivier, Ryan O'Neal, Robert Redford, Maximilian Schell, and Liv Ullmann. Dude, this cast, it's fantastic. Now, here's the thing. This is one of those boxes that I maybe should have just bought the standard. Probably didn't need this. But what happened was I pre-ordered this, or pre-ordered. I ordered this mere days after Gene Hackman died. And I've been on a Gene Hackman. I was on a Gene Hackman kick before he died. And it just made me go. And of course, it's also why I got the conversation, because Gene Hackman. And I'm like, dude, I want to see this movie again. And I saw this box set and it was almost sold out at Diabolic. And I'm like, I got to get it. So I got it. Now, here's the thing. Very cool. Very cool. An imprint. I love their boxes. Their presentation is top notch. The problem is, a lot of this probably could have been in, one thing like this. But in here, you get the movie on 4K, the movie on Blu-ray, a separate Blu-ray of special features. Here's all the stars. Look at that. Dude, that is a crazy cast, man. It's a crazy cast. This is from 1977. Directed by Richard Attenborough. Yeah. From Jurassic Park? Yeah. That Richard Attenborough. The director of Gandhi. But this is all special features. Now, on this disc, on the 4K, and the Blu-ray, you get another commentary by screenwriter William Goldman and the main crew. This movie is 2 hours and 56 minutes. So I watched the movie and then I watched it again for the commentary. The commentary was great. I really enjoyed the commentary. But then, look at all those special features. Now, I'm not saying I watched all of this, but this is awesome. The fact that all this stuff is on physical media, that it's not lost at all. And I mean, so much of this stuff is really cool, and just it gets seen, put on TV, and then you never see it again. That's awesome. And then you get a really nice, there's a kind of a list of all the, there you go. A list of all the special features all in one place. This is the little card that was on the, those little, the what is it? Not putty, but the little, the adhesive on the back. But then you also get a book. I looked through the book. I didn't read. This is one long, essay, and I just didn't feel like it. There's Gene Hackman. Now I'll say, the two people that I was a little, what would I say? I was disappointed with their portrayals. One of them was Ryan O'Neal. I think Ryan O'Neal's never been an impressive actor to me. I know. Now, he's in Barry Lyndon from Stanley Kubrick, which I really, really enjoyed. But it wasn't because of Ryan O'Neal's acting. It's because of Stanley Kubrick's directing and his cinematography and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what makes Barry Lyndon a classic. It's not Ryan O'Neal's acting. That's my opinion, okay? So I didn't really enjoy his portrayal. The other one, I'm sorry to say, is Gene Hackman. Because he's doing a Polish accent and it's not great. I'm just going to say it. It's not great. But the one that the one performance that I can point at and say that, wow, what a performance. And holy crap, Robert frickin' Redford. Number one, he is, and I'm saying this as a heterosexual man, he is devastatingly handsome in this movie. I think he's 41 or something. He is awesome in this movie. And he's only in it for maybe 30 minutes. Maybe. Amazing. He makes such an impression. And this movie is, what's weird about this movie is that there's so many war movies out there that they always have this big battle or whatever, and then it ends with this big hopeful, yay, America did it, or whatever. A Bridge Too Far is about Operation Market Garden. If you know anything about your World War II history, Operation Market Garden was a failure, a huge failure. A lot of people died. A lot of people died. And this story is a downer, man, because so many things go wrong in the process of getting what they had to do, right? Again, it's the largest airborne invasion in history, I believe. And it was a failure on almost every level. And it's a very powerful movie. This is not my favorite war movie. But man, I'm really glad I have this. I'm really glad that I have not so much the set, but I'm really glad that I have the movie, the commentary, and all of those special features. This is, I mean, if you're I love my war movies, man. I just do. I don't know why. I love them. This is great. This is worth watching if you haven't seen it. And again, directed by Richard Attenborough, before he did Gandhi. It's pretty impressive, man. Pretty impressive. Now, the last movie that I watched this week is another one with 3 commentaries. So I watched this movie 4 times in about a day, or 2 days actually. It took me 2 days to go through all this because it's a 2-hour movie. Watching it 4 times, that's 8 hours plus the special features. And man, this is a special feature rich release. Panic Room. Now, a lot of people don't like Panic Room. You know, they go, that's probably one of David Fincher's worst. This is a Hitchcock movie, a Hitchcock type story directed by David Fincher. And I love it. I've always loved this movie. I don't care what anybody says. I've always loved this movie. This movie rocks. Jodie Foster is luminous in this movie. I think she's just over 40, and she found out on the set that she was pregnant. That changes her appearance a little bit. She glows through this movie. And I'll just say that it helped in areas. Again, I know that she's married to a woman. I don't care. Jodie Foster is hot in this movie. This is Kristen Stewart's first movie, I think. She's awesome. She's awesome in it. And of course, the bad guys are played by Jared Leto in a really actually a pretty good performance. I like his performance here. Forrest Whitaker, who's always awesome, and Dwight Yoakam. This movie's great. I don't care what anybody says. This movie's great. 3 different commentaries. One by David Fincher, which is amazing. One by Jodie Foster, Forrest Whitaker, and Dwight Yoakam. That one's awesome. It's one of those where they record them and then they piece together, parts of their conversation to try to be somewhat screen specific, but it was awesome. It was a great commentary. And then the last one put it over the edge. David Koepp, the writer, who also, recently enough, wrote Jurassic Park Rebirth, or Jurassic World Rebirth. He also wrote the original Jurassic Park. But it's him as the writer, and special guest, William Goldman. This commentary was awesome. As somebody who's trying to write, it was awesome because William Goldman is asking David Koepp questions about, okay, in what part did you make the decision to do this or to change this or whatever? I'm telling you, if you're anybody who's a writer, if you're aspiring in any way, this is a must listen. It's awesome. I learned so much. And this is going to be one that I revisit multiple times, not just because Panic Room is great and I love the movie and I think Jodie Foster's kind of hot. And I mean, not kind of, she's hot. And and all the other reasons to like this movie. David Fincher's direction, the cinematography is amazing. Production design by Arthur Max, who you know I love my Arthur Max. Nobody knows who Arthur Max is. I can guarantee you almost nobody listening to this knows who Arthur Max is. But he does a lot of work on Ridley Scott movies. So yeah, great production design. I love this movie. I love this movie. It's a Hitchcock movie directed by David Fincher. What more could you want? But I'm not done. Look at all the special features on this thing. Documentary after documentary after documentary, pre-production, post-production. Dude, this is a treasure trove of special features if you're into that. So I highly recommend this release if you're a fan of David Fincher, if you're a fan of Hitchcock, if you're a fan of Jodie Foster. I don't know, I think this is awesome, and I love it. I love this movie, and I was looking forward to the release. I love this. I love it. I think it's great. And then on top of that, it's the last time that I owned Panic Room. In fact, it's probably down on the shelf somewhere. Was on a Super Bit DVD. Remember those? Yeah. Let me get it. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to be back here. Oh, I must have put it up. Because I knew I had that. But here's what's funny too. They shot 3 weeks on Panic Room with a different actress as the main star. Nicole Kidman was supposed to play the part that Jodie Foster plays in this movie. And the reason that she had to leave the project wasn't because of, problems on set or whatever. She had a fracture in her leg from the previous movie she did, Moulin Rouge. So they took her out of it. They were like, she was going to, apparently there's talk that she was talking about soldiering through. The problem was her doctor said, you can't go up steps or go down steps right now. You need to stay off your feet. Well, if you know this movie is in a 3-story, like townhome type thing in New York. You have to go down and up a lot of steps. On top of that, in the middle of, everything going on, Jodie Foster finds out that she's pregnant, which means everything is starting to change. And so they had to figure out ways to hide the fact that she was starting to show. I love those kinds of stories. It's so great. That Dwight Yoakam was playing with a knife and cut himself. And, he was basically like, David Fincher was like, can you please keep my actor safe from himself? Because apparently he's pretty accident prone. I love those stories. I love that kind of stuff. So I had a good time with Panic Room. And yeah. Oh, and by the way, not everybody's going to appreciate this. Let me make sure that I'm correct. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Okay, see, okay, so I see, where's the director? There, okay, yeah. Okay, producer, director. That's what I thought. I was right. I should have just said it. Special features produced by David Pryor. You see that over here? Ow. David Pryor is the director of that movie, The Empty Man. I did a review of The Empty Man on my channel, and it's one of those movies that for whatever reason just kind of got forgotten by Disney, because it was supposed to be released right around the time that 20th Century Fox was bought by Disney. So it's very, very interesting what happened to David Pryor's career, but I think he's incredibly talented, and I really hope that things go better for him. That's just the thing. All right, let's get caught up a bit. Or y'all probably people left because I was talking about movies that nobody cares about. No. I got A Bridge Too Far on DVD from Suncoast. Wow. Yeah, see, A Bridge Too Far is a movie that I'd seen before when I was on my initial World War II movie kick, but I never bought it. And it was one of those where I was like, I always kind of wanted to buy it because it's such an amazing cast. Now I have it. It's great. There's a lot of money in exploiting grifting off exactly these types of flaws in human sensory perception and reasoning. See, Bucho knows. Bucho knows. They should make a 4K box set of the MIA trilogy. You're talking about the Chuck Norris mission missing in action? In action 4K. I think the only thing that's ever come out is this trilogy on Blu-ray. But see, here's the thing. Is that what you're talking about? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, Bubs. The problem may be that this was filmed in a way that getting to 4K is not possible. But $29.99 for the whole series is kind of cool. Oh no. Newly remastered in 4K and 2K, which means to me it could be released. Let me just see. Missing in action. Yeah, they've only released it on Blu-ray. Huh. I mean, I don't know. Her character's name is Luminous Simmons. Bonobo Juice, what's going on? Luminous Simmons. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know, man. It's probably weird. It's probably weird that I'm probably the only person that talks about how as a heterosexual man, how hot Jodie Foster is and how much I love Jodie Foster. I don't know. Am I the only one? I don't know. But I've always loved her. I think she's awesome. So there you go. That movie had a Back to the Future situation. Yes. And it's just really interesting because Kristen Stewart was the daughter the whole time. And they said that they had to change the script because there are certain things that they had planned for the character that Jodie Foster plays. I can't remember her name. The character's name. That Nicole Kidman could do, but that Jodie Foster, like, for example, Jodie Foster is such a smart actress that it's hard to see her doing certain things that they were going to have Nicole Kidman do. So they had to change some of the story to fit Jodie Foster, which I thought was kind of cool. But I don't know, man. The movie's good. Now, I will also say when it comes to the 4K-ness of it, there are going to be people that are irritated by there are some definite like, oh, well, that's clearly like, well, I don't even know if it's that. Like, I didn't have a problem with the movie at all. I thought it looked so much better than I'd ever seen it. Because to my knowledge, I don't remember seeing Panic Room in theaters. So, I think I just saw it when it came out on home video. But, yeah, there's a lot of CG in it, and it's because of the camera moves that David Fincher wanted. Like there's a part where, Jodie Foster is sleeping on the top floor, and the camera goes out the door and then down past the stairs down to the bottom floor to where you see them breaking in, and then it goes through the floors, seeing all the different places where they could get in and it's locked or whatever, and it keeps going all the way up to the almost to the roof. And because of the way that shot is done, a lot of it had to be CG'd, and it goes through the handle of a coffee cup or a coffee mug, or not coffee mug, coffee pot. The cameras can't do that because they're, big. And then going the way that it cuts corners sometimes, and it just basically the camera does things that's not humanly possible. So they had to do CG, and unfortunately those stick out a little bit more in 4K because they were done in 2K, I believe. So I think, and maybe that's something I should have looked at. which I didn't. But I wonder if the other elements were scanned in 4K and a lot of those digital scenes had to be upscaled to 4K. I don't know. But all I know is I love this movie and I think everybody's great in it. And it's I mean, look, I love stories that take place in a very confined space. And the fact that, you're basically, the movie starts, you're walking down a street or a neighborhood in New York, you go into the place, and then you basically stay there until the very end. There's really like one location. And it's just, I love stories like that. I think they're so much fun. But I'm the empty man every morning after caffeine. Because the coffee gets things moving. Is that what you're trying to say? I miss duping around Suncoast. I love Suncoast. Well, I used to love Suncoast. See, now I can go to movie trading company, half price books. All of those places give me the same sort of feeling, and it's probably a better selection for the most part too. But it's all that stuff was fun. Going to a Blockbuster was fun. Holy moly, haven't seen anything about MIA in ages. Well, there you go, man. Freaking Chuck Norris and Missing in Action. I don't know. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite series. Of course, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I like Chuck Norris. I'm not a huge fan. I don't think his movies are that great. It's just not something that speaks to me. Oh, I didn't show off the back. I probably should have shown off the back. The back of the Panic Room 4K Steelbook. It's just cool. It's a cool movie. I just like it. I like it. Anyway. So, pickups. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I think I definitely said this last week, Criterion and their sales are going on. Also, we've got some Amazon, what do you call it? The Prime, is it Prime Day? Yeah, we've got Prime Day sales going on right now, and there are some killer deals. Really killer deals on all kinds of things. I mean, there's a thing that April wants to buy that is crazy, 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 crazy expensive. But it's also like 25% off. And it's like, oh, do we cough up the dough for this? Eesh, I don't know. But anyway, the other day, I took her vehicle over to a place to have a thing fixed. And it just so happened that right around the corner was a Barnes & Noble. And I went in and I said this to myself. I said, self, if these movies are there in 4K, I will buy them with my fat American dollars. And they were all there. So I bought them. The first Criterion release that I got for 50% off was Winchester 73 by James Stewart. Or with James Stewart, not by James Stewart. It's directed by Anthony Mann. I know nothing about this movie, except it's got James Stewart in it, and it's probably a Western. That's all I know. It was from 1950. It's 92 minutes. It's in black and white, monaural, and it's in 4K. I'm excited. This is the kind of thing that I love doing with the Criterion sales, is buy a movie that I think may be really good and take a chance. So getting this, for 50% off, of course you open it up and there's the thing. There's this thing. It looks cool, man. I don't know. This movie there's got to be a reason why it's in the Criterion collection, and that's why I got it. So Winchester 73. Criterion. Next movie on the list, or on the Criterion thing. This one's going to be one that I don't know if anybody here knows anything about this movie, because I didn't, other than it's directed by Terrence Malick. Days of Heaven. Now, this has Richard Gere in it. It has Sam Shepard in it. It has Brooke Adams, which I'm not sure I know who that is. Linda Mons. Let's see. In the mid-1910s, a Chicago steelworker accidentally kills his supervisor and flees with his girlfriend and little sister to the Texas Panhandle, where they find work harvesting wheat in the fields of a stoic farmer. A love triangle, a swarm of locusts, a hellish fire. Malick captures it all with dreamlike authenticity, creating a timeless American idyll. Idyll? Is that how you say that? That is also a gritty evocation of turn-of-the-century labor. So, there's all the special features. Lots of special features. In 4K, Terrence Malick, who's one of those directors that I can... Some people love Terrence Malick, and some people are left cold by Terrence Malick. I loved The Thin Red Line. Like, I love that movie. I have that on Criterion Blu-ray. The Thin Red Line. I thought it was fantastic. It was kind of like a polar opposite of Saving Private Ryan. World War II in a different, like, from a different perspective. But I mean, I love that movie. But then I saw Tree of Life and was like, even though I liked parts of it, I was kind of like, I saw Badlands. I have Badlands on Blu-ray from Terrence Malick, Criterion. It's okay. I mean, oh sure, it's True Romance was kind of loosely based on it. Parts of Natural Born Killers, I think. But yeah, comes with this book in here. Like I said, I know very little about this movie other than it's Terrence Malick, and it recently came out in 4K. And I said, sure. I really like Sam Shepard, too. So, yeah. There you go. Days of Heaven. Excited to see it. It really is a very pretty edition. There you go. 1978. 94 minutes. So there you go. And the final Criterion that I got is another Western that I haven't seen. I haven't seen this. But again, I saw people talking about it. Came out in 4K. And I was like, let's check it out. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid with Chris Christopherson and James Coburn. Sam Peckinpah's final movie. Now, the story goes, many different versions of this movie are out there in the world, right? This includes 3 different cuts of the same movie. And I saved a Reddit thread that basically goes into detail about the differences between them and which one maybe you should watch first, all that kind of thing. But these were 25 a piece. So normally 50. Usually you can get them for like 40. But I got these for 25, 4Ks. This one was 35. And I'm guessing it's because there are 3 different versions of the movie. So let's open this up. James Coburn. Chris Christopherson. Open it up. So 4-disc set. So you got two of the movies to see. New 4K digital restoration of the 50th anniversary release, supervised by editors Paul Sador and Roger Spottiswoode, with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. New 4K digital restoration of the original theatrical release with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. Audio commentary. Okay, new 2K digital master of director Sam Peckinpah's final preview cut with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. And I think that's the one that people say that you should watch. But I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen this movie at all. I know nothing about it, but I also know that the song "Knocking on Heaven's Door" by Bob Dylan comes from this movie, and Bob Dylan is actually in the movie. So of course, I've been on a Bob Dylan kick. I kind of want to see it. Um, so yeah, this is the thing on the inside. So an essay. It's a little bit of artwork there. So, like I said, I know very little except what I just told you. I didn't like do a whole bunch of research or anything like that. I just said, "Oh, it's got Bob Dylan in it. Oh, okay, cool. Let's check it out. Screw it. Let's check it out." And the reason was I wanted to get some Criterion movies on sale that I've never seen before. So I got 3 movies in the sale that I've never seen. 2 westerns and Days of Heaven. I think that's pretty cool. So there you go. Those are my 3 that I picked up. Now, as I said, I did pick up something else from the Amazon Prime Day sale, and it was an offer I couldn't refuse. No, it's not The Godfather. But I recently have been reading Dashiell Hammett. I've told you this. I read, I can't see what the books are or what the stories are. Basically, I'm in the middle of the 4th, I guess, novel that he wrote. But the last one I really enjoyed, The Maltese Falcon. I got the 4K of The Maltese Falcon. So Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor. What's cool about this release is, and of course I didn't know this before I bought it, but of course this has Sidney Greenstreet, Peter Lorre. You know, that guy that, Peter Lorre. Like Peter Lorre. But yeah, this is really cool. Commentary by Bogart biographer Eric Lax. I mean, I kind of wish it was somebody like Peter Bogdanovich, but hey, it's fine. I don't know who Eric Lax is. I'm sure it's going to be great. Also on the Blu-ray. There's breakdowns of 1941, a studio blooper reel. That ought to be fun. Makeup tests, becoming attractions, the trailers of Humphrey Bogart, Warner Night at the Movies 1941 short subjects, newsreel, musical shorts, 2 classic cartoons, trailers of this movie, 1941 Sergeant York, 1931's previous Falcon movie adaptation, and 1936's Satan Met a Lady. And then an audio-only bonus, which I think is going to be really cool, 3 radio show adaptations. 2 featuring the movie's original stars, plus another starring Edward G. Robinson. I had no idea. That this was going to be so packed with stuff. I just was like, I want to see the Maltese Falcon. And it was $12.99. $12.99 for a 4K disc of one of the best classic movies. I mean, I remember watching this and liking it. But after I read the story again, I'm like, dude, this story rocks. It's a noir movie. It's awesome. The stuff that dreams are made of, dude, I'm pumped. So I got a lot of cool stuff. It was a cool one. You picked up Mulholland Drive the other day. See that one's on, dude, it's on my wish list. And I have so much coming. David Lynch, I kind of wanted to space it out because I have Lost Highway, and then followed right after that is going to be Twin Peaks. That's what's coming up in the watch list. Yeah, all of Twin Peaks, which I've never seen before. I'm probably going to be David Lynched out for a while. So I figured, I'd give him a break. And I'll get Mulholland Drive maybe in November. But I'm going to get it. I'm totally getting Mulholland Drive by then. But in fact we went through my list last week. What was on my wish list? Where is it? Where is it at? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It's up here. Yeah. Thief, Sorcerer, Barry Lyndon, Mulholland Drive, Triangle of Sadness, Repo Man, Inside Llewyn Davis, Miller's Crossing, Solaris, All That Heaven Allows, High and Low, Throne of Blood, America Lost and Found, The BBS Story, A Brief History of Time, Straw Dogs, Portrait of Lady on Fire, Three Color Set, World of Wong Kar-wai, and Essential Fellini. That's so much. And then, of course, coming out by the November sale will be the Wes Anderson set. And I got to get that. Here's the thing. I'm getting that. There's no question. I'm freaking getting that. So that's just going to happen. You friggin' love Twin Peaks, Bonobo Juice? I've never seen a single solitary second of it. And the reason that I bought that set, which is right here, which is actually on sale right now during the Amazon Prime Day sale, if you're interested. But it's got all 3 seasons, Fire Walk with Me, the movie, and over 20 hours of special features. And it's got 4K Ultra HD versions of the original series pilot and part 8 of the limited event series, which I'm guessing is like the season 3. So yeah, I'm excited to go through Twin Peaks and see what it's like. And this is, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like this and I don't like it because the discs are stacked on top of each other. So there's two discs, you know what I mean? There's 4 discs right there and then 4 more on the other side. So you've got, let me see. So there's 2 discs there, 8 discs there, another, see, and they're coming off their spindles. It looks like 8 discs there and then another 2 discs there. Is that right? So 16, 17, and 20 discs. Does it say how many discs there are? Anyway, this is a cool set. And so I'm really looking forward to going through it. But it's going to take a lot of time. Oh, and by the way, I think this was on the last Criterion sale. I got No Country for Old Men, All That Jazz. This is a movie I've been on I watched The French Connection, right? And I'm like, dude, I love Gene Hackman. And I love Roy Scheider. And this is a Roy Scheider movie I've never seen. So I wanted to see it. I watched Marathon Man just because Roy Scheider was in it. I wanted to see this. And I hear this movie is kind of nuts. And then Lost Highway. So Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive, I've seen both of them. And didn't really get them. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. David Lynch is a director that I've always admired, I've always respected, but I've never truly vibed with. But it's been a while since I've seen any of it. So I kind of want to see if I'm on the level now. It may not be a thing, but there you go. So yeah, I mean that's all the stuff. That's all the stuff. I mean, those are the movies I watched and then the movies I just got. And again, I don't need any more movies. I've got so much crap over there that I need to get through. And I mean, I say that like, oh my God, my life is so hard. No, it's awesome. But it's also like, I need to quit buying movies. It's ridiculous. I don't need to be buying any more movies right now. And there's, like I said, like 20 movies on the freaking Criterion Collection I want to buy right now. Like seriously, when I was at, here, just, that is my Barnes and Noble section. The Barnes and Noble that I went to, that is their Criterion section. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 whole sections of just Criterion. Wait a minute, it may be more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. I think it may be 5 or 6. I can't remember. All I know is I could have very easily spent $2,000 in there. Like if I was one of those people that, just had unlimited money to play with, I could totally walk out of there buying every movie I didn't have. Because I'm that guy that wants to see everything. I want it all. And I don't know what's Shozama. I think it might have been you that put out that or put on Discord that guy that is watching or is collecting every Criterion. You don't know how badly I want to do that. But I know I don't have the time or the money to do something like that. Especially when you're looking at minimum probably minimum $15 a piece, but probably a lot more because there's a lot of them that are out of print. Man, that's expensive. That's an expensive hobby. But I would love to do it because I love movies, and to me the Criterion collection, a lot of people look at it as, oh, it's too arty and it's too bleh, and they're like snooty, and no. What it is they're movies that are culturally, or they're either culturally important or they're important to the history of movies. And that's important. And I love that stuff. And I love learning about history. I love learning about why this movie was important or whatever. Again, if you're a reader and you read the essay in the Double Indemnity 4K set, it will infuriate you because yet again, we've talked about it. They're making it about themselves instead of talking about the actual thing. And it's so irritating that this is now for the foreseeable future of Criterion, that essay is going to be attached to one of the greatest black and white noir movies of all time. And it's so frustrating because to me, that is not a legacy essay. That is an essay that's, somebody writes, on a blog somewhere and nobody ever reads it. Not something that is included in the freaking Criterion collection. I almost said bad words. It's my stream. I can say what I want, but anyway, I gotta pee. So I'll be right back. Okay. Just hang out. We got we have 30 minutes in the regular show, and then we'll jump over to the Discord and hang out. Does that sound fine? Does that sound cool? Fun? And if you haven't joined the Discord, you join the Discord. But anyway, I'll be right back. What? Make peppers. No, I went and hadn't seen April since she got home, so I went and said hi to her and went to the restroom. Rinsed out my tea glass. I just figured, hey, since I'm taking a little break, hey, why don't I just take a little break? So I did. Was hoping you'd get My Man Godfrey. No, I think. When did you tell me? You told me about My Man Godfrey last week, right? Uh, did I put that? Did I put that in my list? Is this still raining? Oh, is that gonna hit us? Hold on a second. Apparently, big storm. No, it's apparently. What a weird little storm. Okay. Sorry. Did I put that in my wish list? I don't think I did. My Man Godfrey Criterion. No, I know about this. I've actually, yeah, William Powell. I know about this. And it's only on Blu-ray, right? Not 4K. Yeah, only on Blu-ray. I'll just add to Rob's wish list. So it's there. And then I'll always, again, I put movies in there and then they just sit there until I go, yep, I want to see that. Don't worry. Been a few months, but you keep forgetting. Well, I put it on the list now, so there you go. So no worries. And you picked up Mulholland Drive, Billy. Okay. Yeah. Blue Velvet, I've never seen, but Blue Velvet is on HBO Max, which it's now HBO Max again, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Today's the day when they said, hey, we're HBO Max again. Today's the day. But yeah, I have never seen Blue Velvet. So I'm going to give that one a shot at some point. That looks like a container I'd take lunch to work in. I mean, it's a big freaking box. But I want to say that thing's like $43 or something ridiculously low on Amazon right now. Amazon Twin Peaks from Z to A. Yeah. Dude, that is a killer price. That is a killer price, $44.93. Now, there's this guy, which is a little bit more expensive, but it does not include the movie. This includes everything. So the top one there, the $44.93, is the one to get. But let's see. Like this one, let's see. See, all 29. Yeah, so it has it all except for the movie. And then it doesn't have the other, like the other one has what the pilot and then one episode in 4K. I mean, I don't know why they did it that way, but they did it that way. And I was like, well, that's the one I think I want. So, and then of course they had these guys, even more limited edition, and those are very expensive. So, actually, I mean, oh, yeah. So these limited sets are super expensive apparently. But there you go. Here's some Twin Peaks information. But there you go. Yeah, Fire Walk with Me is definitely on Criterion, but it was one of those things where it was like, dude, I get in like one stop shop. And that was, I want to say was like $51 when I got it. I can tell you if you want to know. I mean, the $44 is killer deal. Orders. Twin. There it is. And view order details. I got it for, oh, it was, well, $55. So this is $10 off of that. It's pretty good, man. To get it, you know, cheaper than I did. I got 4 movies this sale. I'm thinking of getting a couple more at least. I know, man, dude. So here's the deal. April and I've talked about this before, but April and I do this thing where it's kind of like a monthly like allowance. And the problem is, because of those stacks over there, I am basically on credit. like we paid for it, of course. Like we paid for it, but I'm still paying us back. If that makes any sense. I'm still basically in debt to us. But every now and then, April says, "You know what? It's time for, us to get a bonus." And she's been saying that she said it last week. She was like, "I think we need a July 4th bonus." Mainly because she wants to buy something like that's crazy, super expensive, like really expensive. So, and the way that it works is because, she basically makes all the money and I make, well, I make very little in comparison to her. When we get a bonus, I usually get a fraction of what she gets. So if she gets $100, I get like 60, right? And it keeps us in check. And it keeps us, being responsible with our money. So I don't know. I don't know if we're getting a bonus or not. I'm thinking about getting a couple more, but all I know is now, Shozama, for sure. I'm a William Powell fan at this point. So getting to see another one of his movies, yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down. So don't worry. Don't you worry. I will get it eventually. Let's see. Make peppers out of, oh yeah, the peppers and the weird, it's like hollow chocolate bunnies, but do. Ugh. No, I didn't have to make any poop, but I have Blue Velvet on DVD from way back in the day, but I haven't watched it in over 20 years. Well, one of the ones that I saw, I didn't realize, I'm making sure that I'm not. No, they do have it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I didn't realize that this was on the Criterion Collection. Because I have it. Don't I have it? Yeah. I have the original, like the regular Blu-ray of this. I don't have the Criterion Blu-ray. I have the regular Blu-ray of Dead Man. I really enjoyed this movie. But dude, there's so many Criterions to buy, and it's hard for me to want to, unless there's something like specific, like, or if it's a movie that I love, like Trainspotting. I mean, I had to buy Trainspotting in 4K. I mean, come on, it's Trainspotting. I love this movie. But it's hard for me to buy another copy of a movie that I already own, because there's so many other great movies that I don't have at all or I've never seen, like these, that are just like, dude, I want to see these. So I don't know. The thing that I really should be doing is I should keep that list in a place that's easier to get to. If I can just bring up on my phone, and every time I go to half price books, there's so many, and Movie Trading Company, I can just check and see if they've got them, and if they've, if they're going to be cheaper to get them there than it would be to wait for the Barnes and Noble sale. That's what I should be doing, but I haven't been doing that. And it's really because in a lot of cases, man, the used ones, they just look kind of crappy, and Criterions are so nice. Like, I mean, just look at how beautiful and pristine that case is. It's just nice to have everything where it should be and it looking great. That's the internal artwork, by the way. That's kind of, I mean, honestly, not that special.
British man, here. That means I'm smart and what I say goes. Don't say you don't bring any cheddar to the dinner table. Lal 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 lal. Farts and do. Hollow bunny turds for all. 200 characters.
Bonomo Juice, thank you so much, man. That was pretty funny. That was pretty good. I like it. Thank you so much, man. I'm just saying, I don't bring all. I mean, all I'm trying to say is in comparison, it's not the same. It's just not the same. And all I'm trying to say is all the money that I make goes to us. Like, so it's kind of like the way that I look at it is, I don't know, man. It's hard to get excited about each month, knowing that pretty much all I make goes to us. But at the same time, man, I appreciate it because then I can go, hey, this month, this is what I got. You know? I don't know why I keep doing that. I don't know. I know the situation. It's all good. Well, good. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, seriously, I mean, if you really think about that, $2,000. What would $2,000 get you? Well, $2,500 would get you 100 4Ks. There aren't 100 4Ks. So I could probably, I could totally, easily 2,000. Bam. I just want everything, and I'm and some of them, they're like, okay, I'll give you a great example. And I think Shozama, if I'm not mistaken, you really like this movie, but it didn't work. It didn't speak to me until the end of the world. William Hurt, right? William Hurt, directed by Wim Wenders. Didn't that have Max von Sydow in it? Anyway, that movie, I'm so glad I watched it. But I'll probably never watch that one again. Like, I just won't. You know, I like it when, what was the, now I'm going blank. The great noir that not Out of the Past, but the great Criterion one that I got. Leave Her to Heaven, right? Was that it? Yeah, Leave Her to Heaven. That's a movie I'm going to watch. I'll probably watch it many times, you know? But it's gotten to that point. I'm old enough now where I'm like, am I ever going to watch that again? Do I really need to have it? You know? Like, okay, here's a great one. The Super Mario Brothers movie. I probably won't ever watch that movie again. So does it need to be on the shelf? Probably not, but you know, whatever. I don't know. That's kind of how I think now. It's like what are the movies that I'm going to watch multiple times? You know, and which are the ones are really going to give me the value? Like Panic Room, that is one that gave me I totally got my money's worth on that set because that set is packed of stuff and I learned a lot and I loved it. You know, but then like A Bridge Too Far, it's an amazing set. It's got great special features, but I probably didn't need to spend 80 something dollars on that to import that. Because basically that's what you're paying for is you're paying the import fees from Australia. I don't know. And I'm guessing it's because of the way that movie shot. A Bridge Too Far in 1977, right? I'm guessing it's a I don't know if it's a like a lens issue. Like some of those lenses just weren't that great back in the 70s, but like some of the scenes look some of the shots look insanely good, like really really good. And then all of a sudden they look really like almost out of focus and grainy. And it's like, why does the movie look like that? Did they just not have time to reshoot it, or is that just the way that that lens and that setup that they had that day worked? Because that looks like ass. It looks bad. Why am I doing that? But like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. So anyway. So what else you guys want to talk about? We got 10 minutes before we jump over to Discord. What you guys want to talk about? Dude, where the hell's Wraith? I hadn't seen Wraith in a while. By the way, I will say next weekend is the Southeast Game Exchange. Now, Billy and Jay are definitely going. I don't know if I'm going yet. Keep your fingers crossed because I would like to go. But we'll see. Southeast Game Exchange. So, Wraith saw you like Superman, so as a James Gunn hater, he's boycotting you now. Well, I mean, that's his prerogative, but I bet you he doesn't care. How did your Barnes visit make you feel? Talk to any staff or other movie buyers? That place was dead. Now, this was first thing in the morning on what, Wednesday? Was it Wednesday? Thursday. Whatever day it was because I got to the car place as they opened, and then Barnes & Noble wasn't even open yet. So I like walked in the door at 10 a.m. like when they first opened. There's barely anybody in there. And there was absolutely no one. Like, you know how some Barnes & Noble have and I guess all of them, all the ones that around my area, they have this where it's like the music, DVDs or the movies and music is kind of like it's in its own almost sectioned off section. There was absolutely no one in that section except me. And as I was walking out, two guys came in to look at vinyl. And then I just went up to them because they said, are you going to look at anything else? And I said, maybe. She goes, I'll take these up to the front for you. I can't walk around. Okay. And maybe it was just the area that of the city I was in. But yeah, they basically took them from me and they put them up at the front. And then I looked around. I looked at the Tolkien stuff. And by the way, a lot of Tolkien stuff is on the sale with the buy 3 for 2. You know what I mean? The sale that they got going. So not only are they running Amazon is running the Barnes & Noble sale, basically, but they're also running this buy 3 for the price of 2 sale. So those sets of the History of Middle Earth, they're like $70-$80 a piece. Yeah, you can get those on the buy 3 for 2. And there was a part of me that was like, man, I really want it, but I already have them and I've read them all and I don't really need new copies of them. So I'm not getting them. But if somebody wanted them, that'd probably be a good way to do it. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, Barnes was fine, but it wasn't, there was nobody to really talk to. Wraith, I already saw that. Does Wraith likes boys on cots? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. Cosma. Any good books you've been reading? Yes. I have been reading, as I said, I've been reading the Dashiell Hammett books. Um, and Dashiell Hammett is who wrote the Maltese Falcon. He also wrote The Thin Man. Um, I'm reading The Glass Key, which is one of the Dashiell Hammett stories. But in between those, I've been reading the Brandon Sanderson second Mistborn set with Wax and Wayne, if anybody knows those. And I really enjoyed the last one. So now I'm reading The Glass Key and I'm really enjoying that. And then next will be, I think the next book is the third book in the Wax and Wayne Mistborn collection, because there's 4 in that collection. So yeah, I mean, I'm always reading. Like and the weird thing is, sometimes I don't set enough time aside. Like for example, tonight we'll get finished here, around midnight, and then I'll probably go right in there to start reading, and I'll probably read till 1:30. So I get an hour and a half when I actually make the time. Lately I've been trying to stay getting up earlier, uh because man, getting up at, what is it, 5:45 to go hiking every Saturday or Sunday, it screws up the rest of your week. And I don't want to be dead tired when I'm trying to hike 10 miles, So yeah, I've been reading less at night because I'm like, watching a stream or watching a movie or whatever, and then I'm like, oh crap, I only got 30 minutes before I go to bed. And so, yeah. But yeah, I love to read, man. I'm always reading. I love it. I'm also listening to Carl Sagan, The Pale Blue Dot, right now. And that's something I listen to. Like I listened to that on the way out to the doctor's office because it kept me calm. Driving in Dallas is kind of nerve-wracking. So being able to listen to something that's going to keep me calm and centered and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you want to know why I was we started talking philosophy for a bit? It's because I listened to some Carl Sagan earlier. So that's something complete. He was talking about the fallacies and, like, well, religion, but that's what he was talking about. I went on a different rant. So, Riding on Cots with Boys 4K Blu-ray out now. Hey, I'd watch it. I mean, if it was on Criterion. Otherwise, I don't know if that would appeal to me. I don't know. But yeah, man, always reading. Always reading. And part of it is just because, like, Dashiell Hammett, I'm reading because I like noir, but I'm also like I've read a lot of Stephen King. I love Stephen King, and there's a lot of Stephen King I have never read before, but I've read a lot of them, and I kind of know his style. I'm trying to branch out and read other people's stuff, but I'm also really invested in Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, so I'm trying to make my way through that. I don't even know how many books I have left, but I'm really enjoying that. That ride is fun. I really like it. But the Dashiell Hammett stuff is like, I'm really liking the stories, but I'm also learning someone else's writing style. So who knows? Maybe that stuff will show up in a future something for me. I don't know. Or it could just be, have you read The Thin Man? Yes, I have. That's it. That's as far as it goes. I guess I meant the looking through the shelves, how that made you feel, and did you look at everything or just a bit? Oh, movie shelves specifically. Showzama, I looked at every single Blu-ray and DVD, well, Blu-ray and 4K that they had. They had some DVDs too, but I looked through everything. I don't just go to the Criterion and go, oh, they have Days of Heaven, they have, you know what I mean? I didn't do that. I looked through everything. Well, actually, what I did first is I said, okay, if they have Days of Heaven, if they have Pat Garrett, and they have Winchester all in 4K, I'm getting them today. The what was that, $85 plus tax? Yeah, I can add that to the pile that I owe us. Sure. So that was what my plan was. So I found them. I was like, okay, that one's there. That one's there. That one's behind the counter. Good. They have them all. Now let's just shop and just ease into it. So I spent about 30 minutes in there looking around and then looking at books and stuff too. Because I think I got back to the car shop at like 10:45, and I probably walked in the door at like 10:05 because I was trying to time it because I was bored over at the car place and I wanted to look at freaking Criterions. So anyway, yeah, yeah. When you say how did it make me feel, it didn't. It's weird because it's not like for me. It's a very it's almost clinical because I know everything. Like I've seen so many movies and I've seen so many different kinds of cover art and all that kind of stuff. I'm literally just looking at titles and going through my mental inventory and going, do I have that? Do I want that? Do I need that? Okay, blah, 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 move on, keep going. Right. And so going through the regular non Criterion shelves went super quick because they didn't really have anything that I cared about that much. I mean, they had a copy of the Maltese Falcon for $23. And I'm like, I'll wait for that one to go on sale or something. And then, just a couple of days ago, the sale on the Prime Day sale, actually that started yesterday, right? It was $12.99. Like, dude, bonus, yeah, pick it up. So yeah, I probably could have spent a lot more money on other things, but Barnes and Noble is really overpriced for what you get for the most part. Now, every now and then you can find a pretty good deal, but there was nothing there that was like, oh, I gotta have that, other than those, because that's what I walked in for. So yeah, it's weird. And maybe it's because I worked at Blockbuster for so long, but I've seen it all. I've seen all the different covers, and what's weird is I almost have a mental cover list in my head. So I can very quickly go through the shelves and figure out, okay, that's a movie I want, or that's a movie that I, whatever. It's a very quick process for me. Now, at at Half Price Books, it's harder because, especially the ones that are nearest to me, is because they put their DVDs, their Blu-rays, and their 4Ks all together. So it's really hard for me to, I'm looking through the list, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking for the, because most of the time they don't have 4Ks. So I'm looking for the Blu-ray, because I don't really want DVDs anymore. I'll say this, there's nothing on my wish list that's DVD only. So the DVDs are worthless to me. I wish they would do it. There's one that's probably 45 minutes away from me that they've split out DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and it's really quick to go through because I can scan those really fast. But with DVD in the mix, it's tough. So, yeah. Band of Mourning, I do believe. What's Band of Mourning? I'm not sure what that means. Bubs. Oh. Band of Mourning. I don't know what that is. Or my brain is not connecting what I was talking about earlier, which happens a lot because I talk a lot. That's how I feel about driving in Boston. Nerve-wracking. Yeah. Dude, Dallas is just on another level. And it's because there's so many side streets. And then when you get down to because that's where I was in downtown Dallas. It's freaking bumper to bumper. Everybody's honking and pushing over and all that kind of stuff. And it's just nerve-wracking. And I'm like, I'm going over to this doctor. He's going to check my blood pressure first thing. He's going to be like, why is your blood pressure so high? I'm like, because you're in Dallas. And I had to drive in Dallas. Oh, Band of Mourning is the third book in Wax and Wayne. Gotcha. I haven't, like I said, I just finished Shadows of Self last week. So, yeah, I just don't know if that's the next movie on my list or if because Because every now and then, if something catches my eye or if somebody, recommends something, I'll put something else in, in the thing, in the list. Where's my reading list? There it is. No, Bands of Mourning is next. And then The Thin Man. Then the Mistborn Secret History that's part of the Arcanum collection or whatever. Then the Hammett short stories, which is, that's pretty thick actually. That's going to take me a while. Then the White Sand. I think they're graphic novels. I might have to buy those because I don't have those. Edge Dancer, Oathbringer, Dawn Shard. Yeah, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different Sanderson things that I need to read to get caught up. And then there's whatever's after Isles of the Ember Dark, whatever that is. White Sand has a hardcover omnibus. Okay. And Vinny. Did I say hi, Vinny? Hi, Vinny. Hi. But yeah, that's where I am. So whatever's after, if there's anything after Isles of the Ember Dark. And then I know that there's probably Isles of the Ember Dark is a longer version of one of the stories in the compendium. Okay. Well, I'll still read it because, dude, I love Sanderson. I love the way he writes. And especially, dude, the Wax and Wayne series is awesome. I love them. I really love them. But I'm actually really looking forward to getting back to Stormlight, So dude, it's fun. It's fun going through the Sanderson stuff. But I know that there's so many Stephen King books and short stories and all that kind of stuff that I haven't read yet. And I kind of want to read those, but then I'm kind of like I love the fact that I'm doing the Dashiell Hammett stuff. Okay, there's the list actually. Red Harvest. Yeah, Red Harvest was the first one. That went really fast because it was a short one. Then the Dane Curse. Then I read the Dog Stars. I forgot about that one. The Dog Stars is the book that Ridley Scott is making a movie with. He's making a movie of it, and it's got Josh Brolin. And I'm really excited to see that movie because I really enjoyed the book. It was sad, but I really enjoyed it. And then oh yeah, I read If It Bleeds so I could read the life of Chuck before I saw the movie, which I'm really glad that I did. But then now I kind of want to read the life of Chuck again after I saw the movie because the reading the short story, it didn't have very much impact, but then the movie really impacted me. And I'm like, I loved it. I loved that movie. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think my number one movie of the year right now is Sinners. And then after that is probably Life of Chuck. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about that movie. And it's so frustrating. To me, it's kind of like Strange Darling. Which I know Carbonite doesn't like Strange Darling. I loved Strange Darling. And nobody was talking about it. And it's so frustrating. But anyway, dude, I'm all over the place right now. I'm sorry. But that's what you get on the Order 42 show. Okay, so just finished Dolores Claiborne and started Billy Summers and the fourth Mistborn Wax and Wayne book. Okay, so you read books simultaneously. I've never been able to do that. Never. And it's just because I don't, I think I get distracted. And then I would actually get irritated myself to stop one story to start another one. So I would rather read a whole book and then read a whole book, So yeah. Love Secret History. White Sand is a hardcover. I'm on page 1000 of the last Stormlight book. I believe it was me that didn't like it. What did you not like? I'm sure that it was something that I just said. But I don't remember. And it's time for the freaking thing. Oh, Strange Darling. Oh, well, no, I think Carbonite wasn't a fan either. I don't think Carbonite liked it either. But hey, who's read a whole book? You know what? Okay. Okay. That joke is the kind of joke that I do over on Game Dave stream, and it's literally like crickets all the time. Like somebody will say something, like Dave will say something weird, and I'll try to say the word or spell the word the way he said it, and I'll put it in there, and it'll make me laugh and make me like kind of chuckle, and then nobody else will react, and I'm like, I'm just that weird kid over in the corner saying weird things, you know, and everybody's like, who's the weird kid? You know, that's me over in the corner. So it's just, that's the kind of stuff. I think that's probably why we've gotten along so well over the years, Bonobo Juice, is because we have a very similar sense of humor. Rita, I hardly know her. I mean, take one book to work, read on breaks and lunch, then read another book at home. See, that's different because I mean, the last, and this is again very, I have to realize how lucky I am as a person that I haven't had to work a regular 9 to 5 job since September of 2019. Yeah, 2019. That's crazy to me. It's been almost 6 years that I have time to, I'll get up, I'll watch a movie in the morning, I'll have lunch, I'll come in here, I'll work on something. And then, if I'm like, oh, well, I think I'm kind of done for the day, I'll go do something else. I'll go to the store. I'll go to, you know what I mean? I don't have that kind of structure. So I can read an hour, hour and a half every night before I go to bed. And I get a bunch of books. I get a bunch of reading in. But hey, it's time for us to hang out and chat and let y'all take over and let y'all say things. So if you're ready, come on over in the Discord and we can chat. I am in there. And let's see. Integrity and Pantera Steel are new to the server. Welcome you guys. Let's see. Am I in there? I'm in there. I'm gonna turn on my camera and I'm gonna go over here and we'll see if anybody if anybody wants to join, come on over. Let's hang out. Let's chat for the next couple hours. Let's see, wait a minute. Often read different books in mornings and another in evenings. Yeah, I'm not that kind of, I don't separate. Like usually it's like, I want to finish this story. I want to blow through this story, then blow through this story. You know what I mean? That's how I do it. Sometimes I feel bad because everyone talks serious movies a lot and I'm Beavis and Buttheading in the chat. No. It's awesome. Don't worry about it. Nonfiction in the mornings, fiction later in the day. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's not a whole lot of nonfiction that I want to read or that I'm interested in reading. So, I don't know. But I probably should be reading more nonfiction, to be honest. I know I'm a slacker, I know. After I bought the Maltese Falcon 41 on 4K, I picked it up on 3-disc special edition DVD. It has a previous 2-version Maltese Falcon 31 with Ricardo Cortez and Baby Daniels and Satan Metal Lady 36. Okay, well, I might have to do the same thing, because whatever. Y'all saying things in here yet or no? Oh, well, there's Ninjinzu.
Hey, what's
Listen,
up, man?
I heard the word blowing, so I signed on.
Well, what, Vinny? What did you say?
Something stream appropriate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, oops. That's Superman. There they are. Say hi. Hi. We're gonna chat in the
I'm waving, I promise.
We're gonna move over to the Discord. So if you guys want to hang out with us, come on over and hang out with us in the Discord. Otherwise, I guess I've been
pound
debating.
sand.
What'd you
Oops.
say, Vinny? I didn't hear what you said.
That's probably for the best.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Go pound sand, Rob."
Oh, go pound sand. Okay, so here's the thing. I was thinking about maybe possibly doing a spoiler video for Soup Herman, but I don't know if I'm going to because I don't know if I really. I don't know. But anyway, hey, no big thing. We'll be back next week, regular time, regular place for the Order 42 show on Tuesday. Next week, 7 p.m. Central Time, all that kind of stuff on Tuesday and stuff. So you guys have a great night. Y'all do it. Do the thing. Have a good time. Go watch Superman if you want, and have a good one. Okay, bye. KP Senti, dang it! Right at the end, we're hanging out in the Discord. If you want to come hang out, okay, bye.